All right, all right, all right. How y'all doing today, wonderful people?
What's up,
Uh,
guys?
how's it going? I'm Jake. I'm here with my brother.
Joshua. You thought you were going to introduce me, and you got
Yeah,
you threw me
no,
out there.
I was just doing a little something different today. At the moment, Chris is out, but he will be here in just a couple minutes to get on the stream and get ready to talk some basketball with us. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm all right, man. It's tough. It's tough being a Spurs fan out here in the streets,
For sure, man. For sure.
but it's all right.
Uh, Yeah, I know, man. And honestly, you haven't been on the pod for the last couple of weeks, so
Yeah, I think I think the last two, right?
yeah, something like that. And obviously we just had like a different we had different things going on. We couldn't get a episode out last week, and then the week before it was a pre-recorded episode that me and Chris just threw together to try and get something out. So
but it's all right, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We're back on it.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to say that we were on that losing stretch when we didn't have a podcast up. So now we got a podcast up. I think it's over for the league. I think we finna tear it up now.
I hope so.
But I just want to point out real quick.
I was gonna say we can't get no worse, but we did win one out of the last 10. So I guess
we're 2-8 out of the last 10 right now.
Oh, 2. Okay, I thought
we beat like Chicago in like I think like the first or second game of the last 10, and then we beat who else did we beat?
So that second win crept in there.
Yeah, we beat Sacramento
right before the Denvers. Yeah.
So just to point out real quick, we do have a Twitter at Heroes Half Court. We do like to interact with the Twitter community, with the Spurs community a lot, and feel free to follow us on that platform as well as our personal socials, because I know I personally use a lot of my time talking about the Spurs on my Twitter. You can also find us.
Same.
Just a quick personal plug. You can find me on Locker Room every now and then. I don't create rooms. I might start creating rooms. I'm still trying to figure out how my schedule is going to be working of the next couple weeks for me to do it consistent. This is the day that I'm going to do it at this time every week. But Locker Room is a fun community app for basketball fans in general. And if you want to talk Spurs, there's a couple rooms every now and then that do have just Spurs talking, but there's also NBA general floors, and it's good to raise your NBA knowledge whenever you're just a Spurs fan, because sometimes having that general NBA knowledge can help you in determining how good or how bad things can get for us, With that being said,
I think I need to jump on that, right? I need to get in there.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's so fun. I've been having so much fun talking to all the people and becoming like a regular in the community, because like you see who like the quote unquote big names are in the locker room right now, because it's not an astronomically big platform yet. It's only getting bigger, but you have like all those contributors and people who are just like YouTubers who create those rooms, and it's fun just getting in those rooms and listening to other people talk,
Yeah.
But with that being said, this is the Spurs podcast. We're here to talk Spurs. And Josh, I want to know what your weekly thoughts are, as well as I guess for you specifically, I just want to hear what your last couple weeks have been, like this stretch.
It's like I have a lot to say and I have nothing to say. Like I don't know what the problem is. I can't put my finger. I mean, I'm not gonna say that because everybody knows, right? You get on Twitter and you see what people are talking about with our vets, and mainly two guys, right? We talked about the Patty and Rudy thing, and I just don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. Like we're just playing bad right now. And I don't know why. Like I don't know why. I feel like our team is way better than we're playing. And you see, we've had some injuries. Like Lonnie's been out. DJ, I think he only missed one game, right? 1 or 2 games.
I think he missed 1 or 2 games. Yeah.
Yeah. So like DJ was out, and well, one thing that I do want to say is whenever we were missing DeJounte, I felt like missing DeJounte, in my eyes, made it seem like he's probably the most important Spurs player that we have. Like, we looked horrible. Like, it is different than we didn't have Derek. It's different when we didn't have Lonnie. It's different when we don't have DeMar. But we missed DeJounte, and we look bad. We look super
Yeah,
bad.
I definitely have to agree
Dang,
with you on that.
that guy might be the most important player on our team.
He is the brain of the offense, and when I hear people kind of not necessarily discredit his playmaking, but not put his playmaking in a good tier,
It's
like I
because
feel like
they want to just say, "Oh, he plays defense," but they don't. I don't know. They're just like,
yeah,
so, yeah, like
he is a like he is the brain of our offense. You know, he
mhm.
is what sets people up, and you can tell whenever we don't have that on the court. That's why we had been missing Derek for so long, because even though we had DeJounte to help, um, when DeJounte wasn't on the court and DeMar wasn't on the court, and you only had Patty out there to man the offense, sometimes Patty was just going a little too crazy
Yeah.
and wanting to get his own shots up, and it just didn't look pretty. So I definitely understand what you're saying, because like I mean, we just without I could see that when Derek wasn't in, like throughout the season, was like, yeah, we need that second brain. We need that second person to be
Yeah.
able to calm everybody down. And then like it kind of just blew by me the fact that DeJounte really was just kind of holding it down, for so long.
He was the glue, and
Yeah,
if there ever goes a stretch where we don't have both of those guys,
it's like, ugh.
I already know. Just chalk up
And
the L. Let's go
yeah,
home.
and like Derek, obviously he had been pretty rough these last couple weeks, and I think he's starting to pick it up. He's slowly but surely getting back into his
He's been inconsistent. He has like a good game, like a great game, and
and
then
then
he'll
and
go
then
missing
we'll
like for 2 games, and then he'll have a
yeah.
great game, and that's kind of frustrating. I'm just like, dude,
I definitely get what you're saying there, and I think slowly it's just kind of like you look at what he was doing when he first came back, and then you look at what he's doing right now, and it's just like you can kind of see how it's just slowly getting up to where hopefully he'll come back to just being like the Derek that we all know and
I
love.
hope so, because we need something, and we need it now, or else we're going to be on the outside looking in again, back-to-back seasons, and we're still in it. I think we're 9 right now.
We are
So
9 right now.
so we're in the play-in, and I believe we're 2 ahead. I think in the loss column, I think Golden State has 28, right?
Yeah, so we're currently 24 and 26, and Golden
And
State is 25 and 28. They're only
okay,
half a
so they
game.
won. They won
They're
last
only
week.
yeah, they're only half a game behind us, and
Right.
then we're 2 games behind Memphis, and we are 4.5 behind Dallas.
Yeah.
So
So in Dallas, they're playing way better. Luka's been going crazy. So it might
Luka
be
is
it
Luka.
might be it might be kind of hard to catch 7. We might be stuck in that because of our losing streak right now. We shot ourselves, right? And now we're going to be stuck in that 10, 9, 8, and we're going to be in the plane. Like we're going to
Yep,
have
it's
we have to win
definitely
playoff before the playoffs. Honestly, it's just the playoffs right now, right? We're about to take ourselves out of it. We need to win. We need to treat every game like a must win.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And I have to agree with our other brother Juan right here, saying that honestly, him and Patty are the only 2 people out there, especially when Lonnie's been out. Him and Patty were the only 2 out there that I would see them have the ball in their hands at the 3-point line and give them the green light, like shoot that.
See, and then when I say inconsistency, it's like not just like his shooting, right? You don't have to be like, yeah, you could be an inconsistent shooter, but like there's some times where you have to take those shots, and he's trying to make plays for other people. Like he makes stupid passes sometimes, and it's just like he's forcing it. I'm like, why? Like,
Hmm.
and that's what I mean. Like it's like overall, it's not just like, oh, I'm just looking at his shooting. He's inconsistent. It's like sometimes he does things, and sometimes DJ does the same thing. Like they be trying to force stuff, and I'm like, come on, just like go get yours right now. Like
Hmm.
and you
Or
know,
play in the flow of the offense instead of.
there's different like situations. Whenever we're like, all right, we need DJ to get going. We need him to get his, or we need him to get other people involved. And I feel like sometimes they're caught in between that. They don't know what to do. They're like, should I get going or should I
Hmm.
help these fools? Like, and both of them.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely see that point because like there was that one I think it's Atlanta, right? Atlanta was the double OT game.
Mm,
And Derek played his like you could tell that he was just on it, right? But then he gets that turnover right at the end of the game because he's just kind of like his mind's just kind of going at too many different places and it just ends up in a turnover.
yeah.
And so like in a sense, like that's like the duality of what we've been seeing from Derek is like, you see a guy who's calm, composed and playing really good basketball, keeping
And then
us
you
in
see a lapse
games.
like in the wrong time, like
Yeah, and then you just see him like, kind of fall apart like in the matter of seconds and you're just like, "Whoa. You all right, Derek?" But
yeah,
I I still feel like you just have to give that guy time. I feel like missing the entire first half of the season really hurt him as somebody who I consider to be like decently consistent and a smart guy who doesn't make those mistakes. It's like seeing that kind of stuff, I'm like, all right, it's just at the moment he's just not playing in a right situation, I guess. And honestly, it's making me feel like I like I'm okay with Derek starting. I feel like both you and Chris are a little bit more on, you really want him on the bench to be our guy on the bench. But for me personally, it's like
yeah. And
I
and
I
like I feel like you see it now. Like I don't know,
I
I
think
cannot stand when Patty and like
I
sometimes
think
we have our
I
bench
think both.
units, just like Christopher said. Chris says it all the time. Hey, welcome, Chris. Right? He just popped
Yeah.
up. Perfect. Right?
Hello, hello.
So yeah, welcome that guy in. But Chris says it all the time, and I think he tweeted it. I think off our account like not that long ago. He's having a conversation with somebody, and he's like, we just have everybody out there. Like we have all our guys on the floor at one time. So when our bench comes in, we're like so thin, and we just get taken advantage of, and we get in holes quick.
Yeah,
It's
it's
ridiculous, and
it's
that's
easy
what I
to
want.
it's easy to bash the vets on the second unit when our lineup is older and slower by proxy. It's like, yo,
Mhm.
inject some
Yeah,
youth and energy into it then.
yeah. Well, and we'll talk about that's in a little bit, but it's just like, yeah, I don't, I not that I don't, but because I do want Derek and DJ like closing games and or into the half, like I do want them on the floor together, but I don't want them starting at all. No way. I
Mhm.
want DJ running that offense, and then whatever happens, later, then we could have both of them on the floor together, depending
Yeah,
on the what the game's looking like. But
Yeah.
yeah, I want DJ running that first unit. I want Derek running the second unit, and yeah,
yeah,
that's how I feel, or
Mhm.
somebody, because we do get killed. We put ourselves in holes that we shouldn't be in because of our lineups. I feel like.
yeah. And like Jake, because I was listening to you guys while I was coming home, and you're talking about like Derek White feeling a little inconsistent. I mean, in my opinion, think about like Ginobili on the bench. There were times where, like every time he would touch the ball, he would start the offense every single time. You know what I mean? And I don't think that it would be a bad thing to give Derek White that responsibility. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We're gonna have you start to play every single time with the second unit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And just give him
Yeah.
more reps at
And
running the point guard. You know what I mean? Because then,
yeah.
like you said, when if DJ has to miss a game, now all of a sudden Derek White's been playing that off ball role all year long. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though he's capable and he's a pro, it's slightly different. It's like when you move somebody from the hey, you've been practicing at the right guard position all week. Hey, it's Sunday. Now we got to move you to the left guard. It's the same position, but it's different. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It makes a big difference. So I mean, yeah, I agree, man. I wish we would give Derek more opportunities to bolster our bench, because I do feel like we front load too much.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I definitely get that. And I mean, like for me, it all comes down to just the fit of our team this season. At the moment, like I've said it time and time again. I don't think Lonnie and DeMar can be on a court at the same time and it work out too much, because Lonnie, even though he had been efficient these last couple weeks, he had been efficient when he was coming off the bench and having a little bit more ball like a little bit more touches in his hands to get his rhythm going. And I
Yeah,
feel like
see,
that's exactly what DeMar is. I think that next year, if DeMar is not on our team, Lonnie can fit that right in, and Derek can come right back to the bench and start playing that role that y'all are talking about. But this year, it's not in the fit. Like we have
and
we have
it
Patty
sucks that you
playing
say
minutes.
that. because
Yeah, but
I feel like
wouldn't
this team
you?
is perfect.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like 2014, right? You think of 2014, like we didn't like who was our best player 2014? Like
Timmy.
who would y'all say? Yeah, it's Timmy, right? And Timmy wasn't like top tier like in 2014. You know, he was nearing the end, you know, of of Timmy, right? So like I feel like that's like us right now. We don't have a superstar, and I feel like our team is like so perfect to play just like we did in 2014. Like just pass the ball and move and pass. Like we have some like our young guys are athletic, and I feel like they could all knock down. And I wish everybody would just keep on moving and pass the ball. Like I don't like the fact that we have to be like, well, DeMar can't be on the court with Lonnie because he needs the ball. He needs to get his touches. Like, and I feel like DeMar is capable of just pass, run, make some cuts, like, you know, get some easy buckets. And I feel like our team would be so perfect for that if everybody had that mindset. Like, you know, it's horrible that we have to say that. Well, Lonnie can't be on the floor with DJ because, I mean, with DeMar, because, and they're like all so good. Like, I just want them to pass the ball. Like, don't worry about who gets touches right now. Just pass the ball, move. And I know I just like I'm all looking back right 2014. Not every team can play like that, but I know it was beautiful, right? It was beautiful to watch.
It's not even the
team could play like that.
Right, and it's not even the fact that like they're in a sense like their egos are what's keeping them from doing that.
It's the style, right? That play style.
It's play style, you know. It's just how DeMar plays. DeMar doesn't like he needs the ball to be a facilitator, to be that impact on the floor. Look at how somebody like Kemba Walker's doing in Boston right now, because he's the third option on his team and he doesn't have the ball in his hands. He's not having a good year. And so I don't think if you put DeMar in a situation like that, obviously that's kind of two different situations, because Boston has two stars that they're running through, whereas what you were literally saying means that we don't have any stars as any first option. But even then, you know, you put DeMar in a situation close to that, and I don't think he puts out as much as what he could be doing. And so it's just like, I mean, yeah, I feel like it just comes down to play style, and at the moment, Lonnie and DeMar just have the two similar play styles that cannot be on the floor at the same time. And so then that's why you need to have DeJounte and Derek, because you don't want to have Patty and DeJounte. So
I would combat that, and I would be comfortable right now with having Lonnie in at the two, with having Lonnie and DeMar out there, just because like Lonnie does everything that I get what you're saying. He does like similar play styles, but also on the reverse side of that, opposite play styles, he's not afraid to shoot. If you're driving to the basket and kicking it out to Lonnie, he'll shoot the ball, and you have confidence, or you want him to. Whereas DeMar still will hesitate to shoot a three and would rather just take it to the hole. And then on top of that, you know, he's a little bit quicker. Sometimes it's a little reckless, but like when DeMar gets the ball, he analyzes and then kind of does his thing, and Lonnie will catch the ball, rip it, and go. You know what I mean? So I do think that they have the room to be successful. But
you've seen this entire first half of the year how Lonnie just wasn't like he'd have spurts, he'd have times where he could get the hot hand and do well off ball, but he's playing so much more efficient when he's being on the second unit, getting more touches and having the ball in his hand.
When you talk wins and losses, that the time that that Lonnie started, we were winning. No matter if you came on this show and you said, well, Lonnie didn't play, Lonnie didn't do this, we're winning. And it's, I guess, playing all the time, but like we see exactly what happens when DJ and Derek share the court. Like we're in a horrible slump, and I feel like it is.
We need to change it
up.
A
lot of it has to do with our lineups. Like a lot of it has to do with our lineup. Yeah, because like I know you're talking like it wasn't working, but in a sense it was, because we weren't 2-8.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying there, but like
when I
say it wasn't working, I'm saying that you have a player that's not doing well. Like nobody, like you could say that Derek was having or that DeJounte was having a good season. You could say that Keldon was in his slump, but then when he wasn't, like, you know, those little spurts before and after.
Keldon was playing out of his mind too, like at the beginning of the season, and now he's kind of.
And so it's like, you can see like why people just not necessarily hate on Lonnie, but why people are so much lower on Lonnie, because even though we were winning games, even though we were above 500, he just was not having a good season.
Yeah, but
And then he comes in after the All-Star
do.
break. He comes in after the All-Star break and has, solid, good splits because he's on the second unit.
No.
Even though
you're saying but we don't know that, and you're not just going to tell me, oh, it was because he got moved to the second unit, he got way better. Like
what do you mean? That's exactly what happened.
Maybe he was just in a slump. No, because right now, if he comes back and plays just like he did,
if he plays for the second unit but plays in a manner that he was doing when he was with the starters in this next little stretch of games, now can you still say it's because of the bench that he did better? You know what I mean?
And at that point, it becomes more, people are going to be more low on him, because if he does do that, well, then it's like, oh, well, for me personally, it's like
No.
Obviously, he's coming back from an injury, so there's like that little leeway. But obviously, if you're telling me, he comes back in,
well, isn't the beginning of the season leeway enough? You know what I mean? Like,
but he played the entire first half of the season. Eventually, it got to a point to where you're like, you need to see more from Lonnie.
He played 20 games, like chill out the entire first half. It was like
What do you mean? He played the first half of the season. It was still like, from what Chris is telling me, like he played the first half of the season. You can give somebody who is not injured 5 to 8 games where they're, you put them in a position and you're like, all right, let's just see if this experiment works. And the experiment didn't work, but we were still playing it for 20 games and it didn't work.
You're doing it with, and I say this all the time, you're doing it with a piece. It's like you're picking, and I feel like, again, it's management. You're picking a guy that's probably not going to be here next year over the guy that you want here.
Yeah, but you can't tell me that you're not going to, I mean, like what, you want us to bench DeMar?
No, I don't want us to bench DeMar, but if like to me, like in my mind, if I'm running a team and it's me, you, or it's you, Jakob, and Juan, right? And I know Juan's leaving next year. I would be straight up enough with my guys to be like, okay, it's your turn, Chris. Juan's not going to be here next year. And as a professional, I feel like DeMar has to know that. And DeMar showed us that exactly when this little, I forget, it was last week, whenever he said, well, I'm wide open to free agency. Like, that at that point, okay, that, like, you have to know something, what I mean?
I feel like you can do that when you're a losing team. You can do that when you're rebuilding.
Well, what are we right now?
You're right. We're a losing team,
right,
but we're a losing team trying to make a playoff push.
Yeah,
Honestly, from what you're saying, I'd 100% agree with you, because I feel like we're not making the playoffs. We're going to hit the lottery this year. And I would totally say, all right, DeMar, take your back seat. We're going to let our young guys finish this season out. I would totally do that. But they're not going to do that because we're making a playoff push. We're trying to hit the playoffs. That means that we're not going to tell DeMar to take the back seat.
Do it both ways. Like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Do I think that DeMar would like it? I think DeMar would have the LA and be like, oh, well.
Is that what you're suggesting, Josh, to put DeMar on the bench?
No. I'm not suggesting it. I'm just saying, like, you have to tell, like, I don't know how you would tell the guy like DeMar.
He is the best player on our team. Even if
what are you saying though? Are you saying you want him in a diminished role?
I want his role to be diminished while he's on the floor, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But we're not going to do that when we're trying to hit the playoffs.
Yeah, because
especially when we're already this far in the season and we can't make those, like, we're in a position where we cannot make those crazy
I don't think it's crazy just to say, hey, DeMar, let this guy get a couple more touches in the game. I don't think that's crazy.
But it's not crazy to say, hey, Lonnie, you're getting more touches on the bench. Like, instead of diminishing DeMar's role, you have Lonnie on the bench getting more touches.
It's anybody. Yeah, if you want to give Lonnie more touches in that at the 2, if you want to give Derek more touches at the 2, I'm just talking about DeMar in general.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I get what you're saying there. And I mean, I just don't think that we're going to be doing experimentation when look at the position we're at. If we were the 7th seed, we were the 6th seed, you could tell us, you you could say, all right, DeMar, we're gonna hold you back a little bit because we're a little bit more secured in our seeding, and we want to try something new because these are the guys that we're running with next year.
But
Right
you're saying
now,
we're making a playoff push. We're on a downfall. Like, we're not pushing nothing right now. We're pushing the bottom more than we're pushing up. So, if you want to change something, change it now, because what you're doing right now, it obviously is not working.
Yeah, but I mean, and you know,
And then the schedule getting tougher.
but
It's not like we literally
changing DeMar's role should be step like 10 of that. This is what we're gonna do to change up our stuff to win games.
It's kind of frustrating because you look at the box scores like on the games, and we're losing constantly. And DeMar, and I feel like people look at those box scores, they say, well, look, DeMar had 19, it wasn't his fault. DeMar had 20, it wasn't his fault. A lot of it is, it's just like exactly what Christopher said. Like, it's just like, and it's like not as apparent as like the LA thing was, where it's just like backing down, slowing everything down. But it is a lot. It's kind of the same.
I get what you're saying there. I feel like I definitely feel like the fact that DeMar doesn't take threes, the fact that he does,
God,
like,
our guys get
that
looks so much.
that part is the thing that's been most frustrating to me, is like we've kind of reverted back into a team who's like afraid to take the three, and not just DeMar. Lonnie will not Lonnie. Derek White will pass up on threes, like Josh was saying earlier, and run in and just like kind of throw up some crazy pass. DeJounte will do it every now and then. DeJounte will step out and take the three a lot more, which is good. But or even like Keldon, you know what I mean? And I get Keldon. I know that Keldon's trying to work through some of his things and trying to add more to his at the rim game and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, there's just a lot of the times where in the flow of the offense, the shot that we should take is the three. Like, that's like what the defense gave us. That's what our ball movement gave us, and we don't take it. You know what I mean? And so like that, like that's why like. Those are lessons that these younger guys are still having to learn, and that's why I don't rip so hard on like a Patty and a DeMar. I mean a Rudy, because they might go like 5 for 12 or something like that. But they're not afraid to take the shot, and sometimes like that's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like that's what the shot. Like that was the shot.
Sometimes like. Not so much Rudy. Well, I guess
Patty takes crazy shots.
Yeah,
Patty takes crazy
well,
shots.
I would say yeah. And Rudy sometimes takes some crazy, a little bit ill-advised isolation jumpers, like just kind of running and you know. But I don't ever feel like, or I guess I should say, I rarely feel like he is taking us completely out of the flow of the offense. There's a couple times, and I'll give it to him. But yeah, the amount of time. Go ahead.
Oh no! You said it's like what he does on the other side to me. It's like he gets burned. He gets burned like 2 or 3 times, right? And then he'll give up like 6 points, and then he'll go down. And you say he doesn't do it all the time, but it's like it's all together, right? So he'll give up a couple points, and he'll go down, and then take a bad shot, and then he'll give up 4 more points, and then we're down 10 like that. So yeah, he might play great the whole game, and then he has that stretch, and then you're just like, okay, well, that just outweighs everything that he just did. I don't even care about it, because this is
and that's like the thing that gets on my nerves is like, what else are we gonna do? We don't have anybody else to fill that.
We're so thin at the 4 and the 5. We have to have Rudy Gay out there right now.
Like Gorgie's fine, but like he literally just came in, got a little injured, and now it's like we're kind of holding him back a little bit because we don't want to injure him. So
he just re-aggravated it. So.
Exactly. So it's like so we don't want to thank you. We don't want to re-injure our player Gorgie, so we're still mixing in minutes with Drew, who on the offensive end just isn't like shooting.
We're minus Kata Bates, we're minus Trey Lyles still. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just like like on the defensive end, there's nothing we can do about it. Rudy is at the moment the best backup big defender that we have.
Yeah, but I feel like you could put him at the center, I've heard thank you, because like
go ahead.
You said and I know I'm gonna go back to one of your exchanges on Twitter, and I don't know who you're talking to, but he said that you were talking about Luka. I mean, Rudy guarding Michael Porter
Millsap?
Jr. Right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then had to slide over on Paul Millsap. Like, and I think Tom Petrini, like he said, like just because we have Rudy and Patty doesn't mean we have to play them all the time. And that's exactly how I feel. Like it could be situational. If Michael Porter Jr. if he's going off against Rudy, then yes, I don't care if Luka comes in for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Let him guard him and sit Rudy. And then if Millsap does come in and we have to play Rudy, then play Rudy. Don't just let Rudy get burned and then okay, you just got burned a couple of times. Now go guard Paul Millsap. No, because at that point he's already trying to keep up with the smaller, younger guys, and then he's just going to go get back down. So yeah, let Luka run a 3 or 4 minute stretch guarding Michael Porter Jr. and Drew bang with whoever, and then if we have to switch it up, like, and that's what frustrates me. We don't do nothing like that. We don't play situational basketball. We just play just like you said. Well, we need bigs out there. Like we don't. If Michael Porter Jr. is at the 4, we don't need Rudy out there at the 4. We don't.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But I mean, go ahead.
How many teams have Michael Porter Jr.? How many teams have that guy who can beat, like, you know, who can run off, like as good as Michael Porter did to Rudy is what I'm saying. Like,
and it's amplified by the fact that it was Michael Porter Jr. catching these low hanging real like thread the needle kind of passes from Jokic. I would say with like 60 to 80% of the league, Rudy is playing decent enough defense on those cuts, but you add a little bit of more speed with MPJ plus the passing of Jokic, and then he got burned like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Like, I just feel like he should never guard him. Like
I get what you're saying.
It doesn't matter if not all teams have that guy, and then especially a big man that could pass like Jokic, then that's perfect, because that means Luka's not going to be in that position all the time. Just let him guard.
And I would definitely agree. I would definitely agree that there are times, especially at the 3, where Luka could come in and be he has more speed and just he just doesn't put so much strain on other people, right? When there's a weak link in the defense, it doesn't just hurt that guy, it hurts everybody because they have to help. So I understand that, but I also when I see this, this is kind of a sentiment that I've seen a lot, right? It's like just swap it, right? But it's like you will watch Rudy get burned on the perimeter, and that will be like something that you don't want to see. But like you're gonna watch Luka get his ass roasted in the paint if you throw him out there for extended periods of time against Forrest.
But that's what I mean. You don't have to play him, even if you give 10 minutes to Luka. In those
over the course of the 48,
over the course of the game, in those times where they have a smaller guy, a quicker guy, that like you, just because we want them to give, we want Pop to give Rudy minutes to Luka, doesn't mean I don't want Rudy to play.
Yeah, no. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Is like, okay, let's say you put Luka in at the 3. Let's say you put Luka in at the 3, though, which is where he's most successful in my opinion. Now you're taking a minutes away from those other 3s. You know what I mean? Like people want to take Rudy's minutes away, but most of Rudy's minutes are in at the 4. Most of his minutes are playing down low. So it's like, are you like how can we give up Rudy's minutes if most of his minutes are guarding the power forwards and the centers? You know what I mean? Like and
it's situational, because sometimes like they're like and maybe we'll look at our line. I mean, our schedule going forward. We could look at some.
We'll talk real quick about like the ones that we just saw when you're playing Denver and they got Paul Millsap and JaVale McGee as a second unit. Mm-hmm. Like when do you find minutes to take Rudy off the floor?
Exactly what I said, because Michael Porter Jr. Even if Michael Porter Jr. comes in, like he's at the 4, like they play him at the 4. So anytime that he's there, that's like, it doesn't have to be for 10 minutes straight. It doesn't. But if they sub and Michael Porter Jr. goes into the 4, then we should be subbing like this. That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel.
As closely as it was, like anytime Jokic was on the floor, Jakob had to be on the floor.
Okay, and same thing. You know, like if Jakob If Jokic sits, okay, pull Jakob, right? If they're going to go small, then we need to go small so Jakob doesn't get in foul trouble or anything like that against the smaller guys, because a lot of the times in the NBA, if you're bigger than them and you do a little move, they'll just call a foul on you. And it goes like for that Jakob all the time. So like anytime that a player like, I'm just going to say a player like, right, just going for all teams, anytime we have that type of player at the 4, then we need to put Luka in. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah,
I don't want Rudy out there getting burned. And yeah, sometimes Rudy does like put his back to the basket and he'll try to back down the smaller guys, but then it always ends up in a fade anyways. I don't think I've ever seen him back somebody down and go like straight through a guy. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't say it always ends up in a fade, because I mean he'll get to his spot. You know what I mean? And just instead of it being a fade, it'll just be a straight up and down jump shot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But it's still a jump shot regardless. He's not taking nobody to the
but I mean, you know, do you have faith in him taking a 6-footer? You know what I mean?
Well, honestly, right now, I don't want him shooting nothing.
Luka, okay, but Luka getting burned in the paint against power forwards is not really like the development we're looking for. He's not. Exactly. He's our plan for the future, but he's not our future power forward. You know what I mean?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Okay, all right. Now I'm gonna get into my.
And one thing, like the one thing y'all just at the 4 that you do. Like you can't get faster. I mean, you can get faster, but like kind of speed is speed. You're born with it or you're not, you know. And
so is size.
Luka,
so is size.
Yeah,
so is size.
Luka can get swole. You've seen people. He's still a baby. He's only 21. You know, like he can get bigger and he can put on muscle.
I mean, look at DJ. DJ is literally the prime example of a man who was skinny, and now he's got like some good little defined muscle on him.
Yeah, but
DeJounte does not defend outside of his position.
No. But I'm just saying Luka can get bigger, even if he's like he can get bigger. He can get like stronger.
So this is literally how I feel about Luka. Luka is a pure 4. He does not play the 5. He does not play the 3. He is a pure 4. Man cannot like I think. He might be able to defend threes. He might be able to defend certain threes, but I don't think he's as fast enough to defend all threes. Like, you know, the guys that are quick enough.
I saw like Bleacher Report posted where they say Luka got burned. That point guard, remember he was guarding that point guard? He played good defense on that point guard.
And you think that he's not strong enough, not fast enough to guard all threes, but you feel you would put him in the paint to guard all 4s?
No, well, because he's literally like because I mean, when you think about it, not a 4 is not another guy who's, you know, gonna beat you down in the paint. Like another 4 is a Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, not everybody's as good as Michael Porter Jr. is, but that's what 4s are in the league. They're guys who are running around the floor, spacing, and not pushing you down in the paint as much as they used to. You know, you don't have a lot of guys who are, you know, I'm gonna be a 4 and I'm gonna beat up other 4s. No,
I've been saying that all year about our guys. I was like, name a player that goes down and does that, like 4s. That goes down and puts your back to the basket, like Jake's saying. There's not that many in the league. Everybody's like exactly what Jake said. They're all running around on the outside.
And so it's like Luka is that pure 4 that we have. Like he is that guy who, like, I don't want him spending 48 minutes guarding other like guards and forwards like that. You know what I mean? But if you see him switch on a guard, you're not, you know, like I hope, you know, like in the future, you know, he starts to develop even more. You know, he's like that Bam Adebayo type of guy where it's like you see him switch on a guard or another forward and you're like, all right, you know, like I'm okay with this.
We'll take those chances.
Yeah, like we're gonna take them like, yeah, exactly. But if you see Luka switch with a 5, like you're not, you know, I don't want to see him get busted in the paint. And so that's literally what Chris is saying in terms of like what Rudy does for us is Rudy does, you know, like he does help out in the paint because like we don't really have an interior when Jakob's not in the court, like we don't have that interior.
Mm-hmm.
And so if Luka's out there, that just opens up the paint even more for people who aren't, you know, who want to just drive, you know, like if we play a team like Memphis, you know, and you see Ja out there playing against our second unit and Luka's out there instead of Rudy, Like, Ja's just going to eat in the paint. He's just going to run right by Patty. He's just going to do all he can just to drive to the rim because we don't have people to hold down Ja Morant right there. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, if Rudy...
That's why we should put Derek White there, though, in the second unit. But... So like, okay, so you mentioned Memphis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know, who's there? Who would be their starting four right now? Kyle Anderson and Brandon Clark.
Yeah, and I guess, like, if healthy, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson wouldn't be like their center.
No.
So
he's
okay. Jaren Jackson Jr. and Jonas Valanciunas go up against you. You're playing the Memphis Grizzlies, and you're gonna feel comfortable putting Luka at the 4.
Yes.
Because Luka can keep up with Jaren Jackson Jr. and
Jaren Jackson Jr. plays a lot on the outside.
Yeah, he plays.
He likes to shoot. Like, exactly what Jacob said. He's not going to turn around, and they're not just going to give the ball to Jaren Jackson.
How many you guys don't remember how us watching Jaren Jackson Jr. I think we went to this game in person and watched him kill us on the outside and then go right down to the rim and do this exact same thing. Alley-oops, lobs, easy stuff at the rim. Is Luka stopping that? Is Luka stopping that off of penetration from Ja Morant?
Maybe he gets some deflection. Maybe he's just maybe he's fast enough to be in the right place at the right time to get a deflection or anything like that, rather than just getting beat and trailing the play.
Yeah.
Like, as far as, like, I'm just gonna say Rudy. I don't know if it's gonna be Rudy in that position, but if he's trailing the play and you have Luka, if you have Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant, they're gonna win that 100% of the time. But if Luka's quick enough to just be in there to disrupt Ja's pass or anything like that, like, I'll take that. Obviously he's not going to stop everything. He's not locked down. But if he gives us a couple more defensive stops a game where it would have been points, I'll take it all day, every day.
I mean, I get what you're saying about, he could be a little bit quicker to stop some of those deflections, closer to like a Drew Eubanks, where it's a little bit of his effort that stops some lobs and it stops. Yeah, like I get that. But I mean, again, if I see Jackson, if I am Jackson, I am going down into the paint. I'm saying, I know I like to shoot threes, situational basketball. They're gonna put this little dude on me to put me in the paint. Put me in the paint, because he doesn't even have to take the shot. All he has to do is push Luka around a little bit to get the help to come over, and now he's passing it to somebody else. You know what I mean? So, like, that's the stuff that, like, that I honestly think could happen so easily.
And honestly, if that were the case, and you got that ball out of Ja Morant's hands 10 times out of 10 times, if Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to beat me, I'll take it.
But most people consider Jarrett Jackson to be their second best player, and he hasn't even really been there. So if your he's a number 2 option. That's not like, it's not like we're gonna concede to let the number 2 option beat us. That's not that much conceding.
Exactly, and that's
just them running their game plan.
You talk about other teams. Like, not everybody's second best player is that guy. So, okay, if we lose one to Memphis, but we win 3 more elsewhere, I'll take it. And then, exactly what Mike said, that's the development game. If you want to talk about a development game, then that'll be it. Go in there, you guard your ass off. You play and you do what you can to the best of your abilities. And then maybe the next go around, maybe Luka might win a couple of possessions or 2. You know what I mean? As far as that matchup, but on
that point though, I don't like seeing our guys be put in situations to fail, and putting Luka out there taking right now, all those minutes.
With our injuries, everybody's in a position to fail.
You just called him a true 4. What else would we give him? In a year from now, 2 years from now, what else do we give him?
Into this offseason, at least, you keep letting him develop, like Josh was saying, build some mass, let him get a little bit bigger, and come in next year, get those rotational minutes finally. Like,
this is again in my opinion, if you are having to rely, you're like, okay, we need this guy to bulk up, then he's too small. He's too small to be a 4.
But I'm on board. I'm on board with the situational minutes. Like, I'm 100% on board with situational minutes, because it's like, I completely understand where people are coming from when they say Rudy at points is just more net negative than he is net positive. And in those cases, it's like, yeah, let's go ahead and just throw Luka out there because Luka, one, like I want to see the young guys get minutes, and two, like he could provide something different that'll help. But this year, I don't think this is the year that we need to give Luka already. Give him those rotational minutes because he just needs to finish this year off, get this off season in, get those rotational minutes in next year, and start to show us what Luka Samanic really is. And for me, that's the true core.
I think it goes to the three too, because there are some times where the threes, like we talk about situational basketball, but like I think he can guard some threes, some of the bigger threes. Yeah, I think he can too.
Yeah,
so if you want to make minutes for like that game, make minutes for him there. That's perfect.
Yeah, I honestly think that's more his natural fit is to sit and guard threes.
Like I said, it's not like, I mean, I don't think
I think he can guard threes.
I'm not saying that he can't guard. Too. I feel like he definitely can in situations, when you put him on 1 to 2 plays and you see those switches. I'm not hurt seeing Luka guarding the 1 through 4 over Jakob, over Rudy, and obviously I just said like the two guys who are not as good perimeter defenders. But it's the same thing with like why I'm okay with Keldon at the 4. I'd prefer Keldon at the 3 because Keldon can be, I feel like in both situations he has his strengths and weaknesses playing against 3s and 4s. But for Luka, it's just I think he just needs to be that 4. He just doesn't need to be.
Okay, so you're playing the Clippers. They have Morris and they have Zubac. You feel comfortable putting Luka at the 4?
Yeah, against Morris, who doesn't.
But even then, like that's situational. Okay, this game Rudy's gonna play.
Okay, but I'm just what I'm speaking is
season.
What I'm speaking of is if you're saying that like that his true position is the 4, well then it's not situational. Every night, no matter who their team is, you're gonna have to put him in at the 4.
Yeah,
right.
But I'm okay with seeing him play against Marcus Morris because even though there's going to be those maybe 1 or 2 plays where they give it to Marcus Morris and Marcus Morris just probably like it because, he's a little bit more scrappy, a little bit more of a dog in the paint,
Of a power forward.
Yeah,
yes.
he's going to
yes.
He's going to, bully Luka right there. But the Clippers game plan isn't centered around seeing Marcus Morris fight in the paint.
Here's what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that every night they're gonna. Well, actually, they probably will attack him at some point. I'm not saying that the offense is gonna run through Luka's man every single night. But if every possession he's at a disadvantage physically, then that means every possession we are at a defensive disadvantage.
I think it goes like that on the other end too, because like I think that Marcus Morris can run with Luka all night. No.
I
think it goes both ways. Like you're gonna in basketball, it's kind of rare that that you're at an advantage on both sides of the ball every single play. You have to be a top tier player for that. So what Luka gives up on the defensive end, he makes up for on the offensive end because I think he's quick enough, and we saw it in the G League, and I know the competition is a little lesser, but he can shoot the ball, and then when they're running at him, he can put the ball. I think he can.
He can't shoot the ball. He's not having good split shooting the ball.
Luka can shoot the ball. If Luka's wide open on a 3, or
you could say that he will shoot the ball. I'll agree with you that he will shoot the ball. I don't think Luka has a nice shooter right now.
He is a good shooter.
Yeah, it's a good stroke. It doesn't mean that it's going in. It doesn't.
Yeah, but I mean, I think all Josh is saying is that the mechanics and the foundations is there for him to be a good shooter.
And that's what I was gonna. I was just gonna say that I feel like his offensive end is more raw.
I don't know what his percentage is this year, but right now, I'm willing to say it's not that much worse than Rudy.
Oh, all right.
Or Patty.
All right. Well, while Jake is looking that up,
anyways, like I think that he could put the ball on the floor and get to the rim. Like he's quick. Like to me, he's quick.
Okay. But let me say this: the same way that I don't think that
look up his G League stats. I would look up his G League stats because I don't even know if he shot a 3 in the NBA this year.
Oh, he's definitely shot 3s in the NBA this year.
He might have, but enough.
So look,
he's like 1 for 10.
The same way that I'm not saying that the offense is going to run through Luka's man. Our offense is not going to run through Luka Samanic either.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying. You're saying he's at a
Yeah.
all the time,
So
I'm
what you're
bothering-
saying about those back and forths, I think that the things that he would be giving up and putting us in a position on the defensive end of the floor.
Mhm.
I don't know if offensively he makes up for that enough over the course of 48 minutes. That depends on how we use him, right?
Yeah, and obviously he just hasn't been able to show off a lot of his offensive potential, which I don't at the moment. I don't think I feel like he's a raw prospect in that manner because I watch his offensive game and he has some things like his attacking to the basket's okay, his ball handling's not bad, but it's still things that can be refined.
See,
It needs a lot of time to be refined. In my
that's
opinion,
the thing. That's the thing. And this is what I always say. Like, God, he's not gonna. I feel like there's only so much you could do in practice. Like, he's gonna have to get.
We don't even really get practice this year.
Yeah, like he's gonna have to. This is practice, right? This is practice. Like to say like, well, next year. Like that's just a whole year wasted. You know.
for
like,
me though,
just put him in. And especially Jake,
that,
you were the one that said we were gonna miss the play. You were putting us as a
and
so
I'm telling you,
if we were in that.
If we were literally a team that was just rebuilding, yes, I'm all board for playing Luka over Rudy. I am
but not over. I just want to give him more minutes.
But
like,
I'm just saying that my like for me, my opinions on whether or not these guys play stem from the idea that the Spurs are still trying to push for playoffs. Now, in my personal opinion,
if you thought we were going to be a lottery team from the
then I would tell you Luka should be playing over Rudy.
Then why weren't you lobbying for the young guys playing all year?
I said Devin should start.
He did.
But you just said he was good enough to start. You just said
I said the young guys should get minutes because it's not
Devin, and that's another. We haven't even talked about Devin. And the other night, and we're talking about situation, dude. Garland and Colin Sexton killed us, and I do not know why Devin was not guarding one of those guys all the time.
Yeah, I honestly would have preferred to see a little bit of that.
I would. They were killing everybody.
It was that the game that we didn't have DeJounte.
Yeah, I think so, right? He missed.
So I mean, it seemed like there was some more room on the floor to kind of have one of those guys step up, like a Vassell. So who was it? It was a lot of Patty. I would say like Patty's the. I mean, I love Patty and everything that he does, but Patty is the one. Patty is the one that right now at this moment I could easily say, okay, we're giving you less minutes and we're putting it in these places.
Yeah,
Rudy, I don't think we can do that with Rudy yet because we're so depleted at the 4 and the 5.
Okay,
and that's with Luka Samanic on the roster.
So all right. So Luka in the NBA is shooting 25% from 3.
Mm-hmm.
In the G League, he's shooting. I'll give him the 30. He's shooting 30.
Is that like his G League career, or is that what he did like this year?
His G League stats this year. His career is over 30, but his 21 season is 29.7. But I'll give him 30. Like he's shooting 30.
What is his career? Like, does he have a G League career or no?
Yeah, his G League career is 30.
Oh, it is 30. Oh,
yeah, 30. and then his this year it was 29.7. But I'll give him
and
30.
what is Rudy shooting this year? Rudy or Patty?
Rudy's
30s, right?
Patty's 38.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy's
39.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and to me, like that's a
nearly 40% from 3 is way better than 30% from 3.
Yeah, and that's true. But look at the volume, right? Just give Luka. I don't even know what I'm just gonna say. Give him 50 more threes, and I mean it could easily get bumped up to that.
But I'm just like, I mean, he had those quote unquote 50 more threes when he was the first option in the G League. Like Rudy and Patty are not the first options.
But so, he's gonna have to learn how to shoot the threes as a third or fourth option on the floor, not as a number one option.
And those are easier because, and how many times do we see Rudy? And for whatever reason, that 39%. The reason I say that's kind of whack is because how many times in games when we're like, God dang, it seems like Rudy needs somebody in his face to hit the three. He gets wide open threes and brick. And you see it, like how many people on Twitter I see him get caught out all the time. Like, why can that guy not hit an open three? If there's nobody close to him, don't even shoot the damn ball.
No, yeah, I definitely
that's how I feel about Rudy.
I definitely get what you're saying because I mean, like it's just still the fact that at the moment Luka's offensive game I don't think is as good as
Anyways, if
Rudy's.
Luka's wide open for three, I want him to take that.
Yeah,
100%
I mean I want anybody wide open for three to take the shot other than Jakob and Drew Eubanks.
And
But like
DeMar too. DeMar needs to shoot
No,
the damn ball. And he's wide
yeah,
open.
he needs to do it too.
but it's just like I mean I don't think Luka's offensive game is polished enough to be as big of a contributor as it can be. Like that's the thing that is one of
get them shots up.
That is one of the things for me that it's like, all right, I am holding back on trying to give Luka all of Rudy's minutes because we were already talking about the defensive end and how Rudy needs to be there on the defensive end in situations. But then, like, even if Rudy's offensive capabilities just like are a little bit crazier, like he takes those ISO games and his bricking of open threes, Luka can only do so much out there. Like he's not like he can attack the rim. He's a solid ball handler, but I haven't seen him be able to take the three ball well and be able to shoot from
and maybe we need that's why we need Derek and DJ just to set those guys up. How many times do we see DJ and Derek get to the rim and like just drop that ball off for Jakob, bam, layup, and then like I mean that gives everybody confidence. And
right.
I would love for Luka to get a couple quick easy ones and then get him going because you've seen him just every once in a while when he's like playing with confidence and he'll take that ball to the rack and I'm like, oh, that was nice. I'll take a couple more of those a game. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness! What game was it? There was a game where I think we had just like kind of given up garbage time minutes and stuff like that to our young guys.
He took the ball off the rim and went all the way.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about Devin in this case because Devin got in the ball. He had taken the guy off the dribble and hit him with a solid spin fadeaway, but the ball just went right off the rim. And I was like, if you would have made that, Devin, like I would have been so happy because it just looked so pretty. And I hope next year his ball handling is just a little bit better. We can give him more opportunities to create give him the ball and create off the dribble. Like, oh, it looked so pretty to me. I was just so happy to see that.
And that's another thing too. We were talking about second units earlier. Like, man, like I would love if we go DJ and Lonnie because I think Lonnie's a good defensive player. I think he could play defense. Like he's athletic enough for his defense to get better. Like, so like if you go DJ and Lonnie and then you come with Derek and Devin, like that's perfect. That's like
right, and
that's so solid.
And
that's
all so way, good next year when we don't have somebody like DeMar to be what DeMar is doing right now.
I'm just talking about 1 and 2, and then say Devin comes off the bench and plays 1 and 2. Like that's exactly what we needed. I know. I think DJ and Lonnie didn't play the Cleveland game, right? But when you saw those guys killing us, if you got DJ and Lonnie guarding those guys, and then if they go to the bench and those guys are still on the floor, then you come back with Derek and Devin, that's like perfect. I don't think those guys are dropping 30 apiece on us if we ran that on them.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's just like, I think the thing for next year for me in terms of our guards is like, what's going to happen with Trey and what's going to happen with Patty? Like, what are we going to do?
I think Trey Lyles is
not Trey Lyles, Trey Jones.
Oh, Trey Jones. I thought you were about
I'm talking about the guards, fool.
Well, even then, I think Trey Lyles is gone. I don't know if that report. I don't know if that report was true. He said he didn't want to be with. Maybe he was looking for something at the deadline.
Almost went to Dallas.
I mean, yeah, I was about to say I feel like he was on the first flight to Dallas, and then we fell through with the trade, and now we're just telling him, yeah, man, you're just not going to play for the rest of the season, whatever. Like
that's why he's hurt.
That's why he's out. Yeah. But
hopefully we trade him in the draft and get the number 1 pick.
For next year, though, like what is our guard situation gonna look like? Because I feel like Devin is a 3. I don't think Devin really plays the 2, especially with how many guards we have. We don't really.
I don't think you label those guys like. I think
positionless basketball.
Yeah.
DJ,
but he's Derek, a forward. He's a forward if that's the case. He's not a. He's not a guard.
DJ Derek is like a 1-2. DJ Derek's a 1-2. Devin and Lonnie are a 2-3. That's how I feel about those guys.
I see Lonnie as a 2-1 more than a 2-3 because Lonnie needs the ball in his hands. Well, and he's not a bad playmaker.
Lonnie's a 1-2-3.
But so either way, like next year, whether or not we keep Patty, or if I don't know if we're gonna have Trey Jones hitting rotations next year.
I want to keep Patty, and I want him to not play a single minute. I want him to be like
he'll be in that Alonzo Mourning,
Udonis
Haslam.
I want him to be the Udonis Haslam of San Antonio for the next 5 years. Like, just sit there and be straight up a coach, player coach right next to Pop. Help Trey Jones, help Derek White, help DeJounte Murray, just, with your mind. And then if ever a time comes where we get some injuries, then yes, we have Patty. Like, perfect, we have Patty. And if not, then he could, I feel like you can, as a player, you can help a lot just being there.
Yeah.
Especially a guy like Patty that's been around everybody for so long. Like,
but
he can help us without playing a single minute.
There's one key difference between a guy like Patty Mills and Udonis Haslam, and that is Udonis Haslam is not hitting rotations. Patty Mills can still hit your rotations.
Yeah.
And so next year, somebody's going to pay.
Yeah, he'll find a suitor. Yeah.
Somebody's going to pay Patty that 10
8
mil to go be on their team.
This is the time where you see, like, if he's just. I feel like at some point you made your money. Maybe he just wants to be. Maybe he's comfortable. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
If he was comfortable, he wouldn't be trying to have a career year this year. That's my thing. And I think he's going for another paycheck.
I don't think you tried. I think you just.
Well, I mean,
it's just the time. It's just the situation.
You can't tell me whenever you've seen Patty the last couple years and he wasn't shooting as many threes as he is now, and he's not playing, like, he wasn't playing with the energy, the intensity that he is now. But all of a sudden this year, the last year on his contract year is a year where he's like, all right, I want to put up good numbers. I want to come out. I'm going to tell people that I'm Bala Patty. Like, come on now. Like, I think he's playing because he wants to get another good paycheck. And I don't think it's
right now, the way he's playing, he ain't going to get paid shit.
He is, though. He's a 40% shooter. I would much rather see Patty Mills on my team than Bryn Forbes. And Bryn Forbes is hitting rotations in Milwaukee right now. So
he's starting, right?
Something like that. I just know that he's on their team. He's getting rotational minutes. So it's like, Patty's going to get minutes somewhere. He's going to get paid somewhere. And I think he's going to become an even better volume shooter because of the way the other teams play with the three ball than we do,
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
and on top of that, he'll most likely go to a team where it's like, yo, like, we don't want you to be dribbling the ball at all. Like, we're just gonna have you stand here. Like, these are the guys. You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly how I feel like he should play with us.
Yeah, but it's easier.
And let that fool just go stand around and take some spot up shots. That's exactly what I want for Patty right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're still our young guys are still learning, because sometimes, like I said, man, sometimes I think that's the game plan, right? Give the ball to the young guys, but sometimes, like, our young guys just defer a lot, or they just don't really know where, like, everything's leading us one way, but then they don't, like, do it that way. So then they give the ball to Patty, and it's like, well, now it's just, I got 12 seconds on the clock. I got to make something happen.
As far as our young guys, right? I'm so glad, and I know we lost the game, but to see Keldon Johnson grab the board, take the ball all the way, and not even trip, no hesitation. Like, he went to the rack, and Michael Porter Jr. is just Michael Porter Jr. He's, like, long and linky. Like, if that was anybody else, he's laying that ball up. Michael Porter Jr. just got, like, he hit the Euro around him, and he's just so long. He got a good contest on that ball, and obviously Keldon missed, but.
And we still had two tips after that could have went.
DeMar kind of, like, bummed me out, dude. Just grab the ball, land, and lay it right back up. Like,
he didn't have time, though. He did not have time. The second the ball hit the rim, you just see it bounce up and buzzer. So it was not like I don't think he had enough time for that.
When you watch it like as many times as they showed it, whatever, you could definitely see that he could have just grabbed the ball and, like, laid it off, threw it off the back. Like, he didn't have to throw it in the air like he did. To me, he did it.
I agree though.
I'm glad that
I agree that, like, that game, we've been in a rough patch and we've been losing, but that game felt different in the sense that you liked the fight that we saw. There's going to be ups and downs of every game, and good stretches and bad stretches, but you like the fight that we saw. You like the fact that we had a shot at the end. And they took the shot too. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, I think there was a time where like it was coming down to the end of the game and Bill Land even just kind of said, he was like, just get a good look, right? Just like, please, like execute something, even if we miss the shot. So it was like, I agree. It was good to kind of see some of that fight, you know what I mean? So, well, let's kind of take that and kind of move forward because, I had titled this episode, saviors and scapegoats, right? Because it feels like in this stretch, everybody's been pointing fingers a little bit in the community about Rudy's name gets thrown around, our veterans get thrown around a little bit, and then saviors is a little bit tied into like DeMar had said the other day, we're not going to put up no bat signal and wait on somebody to come in and save us. Like, we have to be the ones to dig in and put it together. You know what I mean? So with that being said, we're, let's kind of look ahead. We got our first game tonight against Dallas. Josh had mentioned it earlier when I was still out, and I had wrote it in my notes as well. Just the idea of, especially if we were to, if we lose to Dallas tonight, that might be the nail in the coffin for us for like, at least the top 7, right? And we're, so then we'd have to be looking at 8, 9, and 10 as our potential, play-ins or whatever.
Yeah. And just like I had said, I'll real quickly say it again. We're half a game in front of the Warriors, who are 25 and 28. We are currently 24 and 26. We're 2 games behind Memphis, who are 26 and 24.
And they got the tiebreak, right? The Warriors,
all 3 of these teams have the tiebreaker on us. So that's rough. That is very rough. And then we are 4.5 behind Dallas, who is 29 and 22.
Who's 11, Jake?
11 is New Orleans, who are 23 and 29.
Okay, so we got kind of a little.
Yeah, so we're 2.5. We're 2 games in front of New Orleans. So that's like,
and they got the tiebreaker.
That is our cushion. Do they have the tiebreaker on us?
Did they beat us twice?
They beat us at the beginning of the year.
We played them actually on the 24th.
And then I think we beat them the second time.
And then one of the game got canceled, right?
No, I know. Yes, one of our games did, but I thought that we beat them. We beat them February 27th by 3 points, and then they beat us earlier. I think like in way back in the day. So they beat us in December, and then we beat them in February. So I think
and then the one got canceled, and then
I'm checking right now. Yeah. So as of right now, it's 1-1.
Okay. So the tiebreaker will be later. Which
later
is
this month, yeah.
That's kind of a must-win, just in case.
That's a very big must-win. We can't, like, if we're already losing tiebreakers against the 7th, 8th, and 10th seed,
yeah,
like, and then if we lose and we also, let's see, what the Kings, we still have a couple games against them, right? I don't know if they're going to be making the playoff.
We have one more against Sacramento in May,
and that is the tiebreaker, right? Because we're 1-1 against them as well.
Yep. And
that's the 12th team that because I feel like you can for sure say that Houston and Minnesota are out of the race, right?
Yeah. OKC's like the one that's like on the fence, right?
Yeah, OKC's that team that's like, okay, they're most likely going to be in the lottery this year, but you never know with them. I think they made their trades. They traded George Hill, and they're not playing Al Horford for the rest of the year. So I think they definitely committed to like, all right, we're just playing everybody young, and they're on a 6-game losing streak right now. So I think they are going to be out of the run.
Yeah.
But then you have Sacramento, who is 22 and 31, and New Orleans, who is 23 and 29. And even though Sacramento's on a 6-game losing streak, we're on a 5-game losing streak. And I feel like a team like Sacramento, I feel like they're definitely a team that's just made up of we're on winning streaks, we're on losing streaks, we're on winning streaks and losing streaks. So
which team?
Sacramento.
Okay.
Like they could be on a win 5 or a lose 5. Like you'll see them hit those stretches. And so that's like another team that's like, I'd say it's on the fence, but that one can go either way. Whereas OKC was more, you're leaning towards lottery. And then you have the Pelicans, who are still trying to make their push, Warriors, who are still trying to make their push, Memphis and Dallas. So
yep.
It's tough. It is tough. We have got to start. We have got to get out of this slump by beating Dallas, by beating who's the next game? Orlando. If we lose against Orlando, I'm throwing the season away.
Oh my.
Yeah, we got a lot of games
Yeah, but
to kind of talk about this week
probably
too,
beat Dallas and then lose to Orlando.
If we lose against Orlando, I'm throwing away the season.
we have another 5 games in 7 days this week.
Dallas, Orlando, Toronto, and it's a back-to-back. We know how we play on back-to-backs.
The worst, I feel like the cards have never been in our more worse in our favor than it is right now, because we're on a 5-game losing streak and we're playing 5 in 7 days with a couple back-to-backs.
The good news is we got Lonnie back. Jakob Bates is upgraded to questionable. So I mean, the hope, right, is that
what about Borges? Is he playing tonight?
No, I think he's still out. All they did was they upgraded Jakob Bates from out to questionable.
Okay.
So I mean, that's like our biggest thing is we're still not healthy, right? We're just depleted down low. But all right, so looking ahead to this Dallas lineup, Jake, you wanna pull their lineup out? I mean, I know Josh had mentioned earlier, like they are playing a lot better ball as of late. They are still a little bit up and down, like on a game to game, like how well they play. I hear a lot of words from like the people like Mavericks fans or whatever, and a lot of the words that I hear from them are stuff that I hear from us, which is like, oh yeah, we're gonna go beat the best team in the league and then go lose to the whatever, right? You know what I mean? So maybe we are the whatever, right? We are the bad team that can come in.
I'll take it.
Get the
I'll take the dub tonight.
So I didn't get the lineups up for this week just because I kind of wanted to go a little bit more general basis. We'll see how this works out for this week.
Okay.
And just kind of go by it. We can still kind of go in a sense game by game of like how we feel about it, because obviously how we feel about Dallas today is going to be different from how we feel about Orlando for tomorrow. But in terms of just like Dallas, just to note, they are 7-3 in their last 10. They're on a 1-game winning streak, but it's still like 7-3 in the last 10 just means that like you said, Chris, they might not be doing good on a game to game basis in terms of streaks, but they're still solid enough to have 7-3 in the last 10. So it's going to be tough for us to try and get a win against Luka, who's definitely been picking it up. He's at the moment he's averaging 28, 8 and 8 on 48, 37 and 73. So he's he's just up there to being in those 30-point triple-double nights and on 50, 40, 90, so.
Just real quick, their IR list, they have Maxi Kleber is listed as day-to-day. Willie Cauley-Stein, as of right now, is listed as out, but they updated it saying that he is probable for today's game against the Spurs with COVID-19 protocols.
Not Willie Cauley-Stein.
JJ Redick has been playing with them, practicing with them and all that kind of stuff. But it says that he's doubtful for today. I guess he has a heel injury. And then Tyrell Terry
don't want to play with the team injury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He came out on his own podcast.
Yeah, I have too much respect for JJ. I was 100% on his side when I heard all that stuff go down. I was like,
yeah, he was all calm down.
Orlando, like those guys are not like us. They did him dirty.
Wait, what? Yeah, so I didn't even hear that.
Tyrell Terry also questionable. But anyways, go on.
Yeah, well, because they had promised JJ that they were gonna send him to like the New York or Brooklyn because they were just gonna buy him out or something like that, just so that he could go over there because his family's over there. Like that's what they were. That's what he was like. He was like, yo.
Yeah, he mentioned. He said like in a shortened season where all this stuff is happening, like I preferred if they were gonna give me the option to go be around my family.
And they had promised him. They said, yeah, you're gonna go. We're gonna send you over there so that you can be closer to your family. And then they traded him even farther away to Dallas. So it was just like.
Yeah,
Like,
but he just like I guess when he got traded, he didn't really say anything about it. So a lot of Dallas fans were kind of saying like, does he even want to be here and all that kind of
mhm.
stuff. But he came out on his he came out on and obviously some of it's probably PR and like doing it, playing the game so to speak. But he came out on his podcast and was like saying like just I'm happy to be in Dallas. Da 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 da. He was like I have my first media day scheduled. He was like I just came off of a surgery or something. He was like, so I'm not with the team. He was like, but I have my first media day scheduled for this day. My first practice is scheduled for this day. He's like, so, I'm fine. He's like, I'm happy to be here. He's like, just calm down. He's like, we're fine.
Yeah, straight up, man.
He was all
I mean,
settle down.
yeah, and it literally was just like I don't think JJ is it was I feel like it's the same thing for DeMar in the sense of just like you get traded there and you're like I don't want to be here, but you know that like it's not like
Yeah.
it's not the worst situation in the world. He's still on a playoff team, like he he's still just doing JJ things in that sense.
Yeah,
He's not mad to be in
and
Dallas.
it'll be and
New Orleans.
fast forward a month from now or whatever, he's gonna be able to help them. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
So
exactly.
He'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Either way, the
go
fact that they don't have somebody like JJ helps us a lot because that's a team that's scary with a consistent 3-point shooter. And if JJ's on it, then that's just even more terrifying for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the way we give up threes.
Mm-hmm. And so it'll be fun seeing us try to hold down Luka and Kristaps. Kristaps is also having a little bit of a better season from like just the last stretches, and we'll see what we can do against Dallas. I'm not high on the game because I feel like the way that the cards are on us, it's like, yeah, let's just go in and compete. But I don't know if it's gonna land right for us.
It's just one of those games most of the time when we play against the division rivalries, we're like, all right, it's gonna be a close game, it's gonna be a scrappy game. But it's just like when we play Dallas, we're in that era right now of like, okay, we know that they have Luka, and if it comes down to like we need to get one stop, they have the upper hand. So it's
they have that guy while we have. I mean, DeMar's good, but sometimes it's just not. It's not in our favor.
Yeah, and it's shown because when we play them, it's like we can't get over that hump when we play against them too. Like
DeMar gets no calls, and Luka, you look at that fool wrong. He's at the free throw line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But kind of just going a little bit further ahead into Orlando, I feel like this should be a game that we just take care of business.
Take care of business.
They don't have. If I'm not mistaken, they still don't have Markelle Fultz. I don't know if Cole Anthony is back.
Cole Anthony's back.
So that'll be fun to watch him. I hadn't been able to catch a game for Orlando this season yet, so it'll be fun to see how good Cole Anthony is.
And it'll be a different team because when we played the last time, they were running everything through Vucevic and everything like that.
So we'll see.
Not Aaron Gordon, right? Was Aaron Gordon?
Aaron Gordon's
he didn't play, right? No, but he didn't play.
No, he didn't play against us.
Yeah.
He did play against us in Denver though. Man murdered us.
Yeah, he did.
But
I wanted that guy, man.
I feel like we would have had to give up too much for him. Like I wouldn't.
What did Denver give up?
They gave up RJ Hampton. I forgot what that whole trade was. They gave up like RJ Hampton, salary filler, and Gary Harris, but he's still kind of a young guy that can still do things for them. And then and just I think like a first round pick or two, honestly, something like that. And that's a lot for me. Like I wouldn't want to give up. In my opinion, I feel like Lonnie's better than RJ Hampton, but giving up to me, that's giving up giving up Lonnie, giving up Rudy, and a couple first rounds for Aaron Gordon, and I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, Gary Harris, RJ Hampton, and Denver's protected 2025 first round pick. So only one first round pick.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be okay giving that up for Aaron Gordon.
Why does everybody throw Lonnie? I'll give up Derek before I give up Lonnie. I'll give up.
Well, they're not gonna want 27-year-old Derek when they're rebuilding. They want a young guy. They're gonna want Lonnie.
What is they would give up Devin, our rookie. Isn't RJ Hampton's their rookie, right?
Yeah, but RJ Hampton was a 20-something pick in the draft.
Still a rookie.
And he's a rookie that is nowhere near like I don't think he has the potential like
No,
Devin
but
would.
they took their rookie. Like I'm sure they would ask, all right, we'll give it. That's pretty much 2 first-round picks. This is what they got.
Yeah, and
they
Lonnie's
got
the first round pick.
they got
Either way,
a couple years back.
they had their team's just now, rebuilding. We should just take care of it unless we see Terrence Ross drop 60 on us,
Yeesh, don't talk about that.
But we'll see. Our next game of the week would be against Toronto, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do y'all feel about that? Because I feel like that's a game that's definitely going to be competitive. Like it's going to be.
I think that could be. I mean, we could do it tonight, but I think let's say we get a win. Let's say we don't get a win tonight, but let's say we get a win against Orlando. That Toronto game, even though Toronto is where are they sitting at? They're in the 11th spot. So they're not, as high as like they probably they want to be, especially in the past couple of years. They've been super high in the standings, but that could still be a good win for us. You know what I mean? Like a building block kind of win.
Yeah, and that's exactly. I was gonna say that I'm more excited to see this Toronto game than I am against Dallas because my feelings about Dallas is more bleak against my feelings for Toronto in terms of how we'll fare against them. And so a team like Orlando is a team where it's like, all right, we should beat Orlando. A team like Dallas, it's like, all right, let's be competitive. A team like Toronto, it's like, all right, we could be competitive and win this game. Like let's have a good hard fought game where I can see everybody having to put in effort and see us do good, and be able to win in a nice win. It's something that we haven't been able to have.
We beat them. We beat them this season already. So
early on.
And so it's like I'm excited to see that game. I'm a huge fan of Kyle Lowry in that sense. I feel like, get his jersey.
Get his jersey.
maybe I'll have to look in the off season for that. But
now, I mean, to be fair, man, when we lost to Dallas, the first time we only lost by 5. Only lost by 5. And really, it was that second quarter that did us in. They outscored us 31-24. We outscored them. Only lost the first quarter by 3. Tied in the third quarter. Outscored them by 5 in the fourth. It was just we got blitzed in the.
When was that game?
That was early on. That was January, right?
Yeah. See, that was when Dallas was going through their problems.
Yeah, but that was 36 points to Doncic, 21 from Hardaway, 16 from Brunson. Like their points are coming from the same places that they're going to be coming from now. Obviously, they didn't have Kristaps. Oh no, Kristaps had 21 points. So I mean, again, like they were their people that they needed to play well played well. You know what I mean? And then for us, DeMar DeRozan 29, Keldon Johnson 17. Say it again.
Tim Hardaway, that's when he hit. What was his 3-point?
Tim Hardaway, I mean, he had 21 points. I'm imagining he
7 for 7.
I'm looking on. I'm just on the Google, so it just has like the team stats. But I mean, they. Let
me see. You said January.
We shot a higher percentage from threes during that game. But yeah, I mean, their points were coming from where they wanted their points from. Now, so from our point of view, 29 from DeRozan, 17 from Keldon, 13 from Patty, 16 from Rudy, and then 26 from LaMarcus. So we got that was the game that DeJounte Murray played 1 minute and then got hurt, right?
Oh yeah.
So I mean, there's things about the way that we play them the past couple times that, they're situational, obviously, but we can be competitive against the Mavericks. I'm not bleak against any game. Any game, I'm ready to suit up and ready to see what are the things that we can do.
Keldon Johnson said that they could beat anybody.
Exactly right. The second time we played them, 28 to Kristaps, 22 to Luka. Again, Josh Richardson with 12. Hardaway only had 9, but they kind of were more balanced that time because Kleber had 11, Finney-Smith with 7, Hardaway with 9, Brunson with 8, Cauley-Stein with 10. So they were a little bit more balanced that second time. And if I'm looking at the breakdown of the score, kind of again, they blitzed us in the second half. They beat us 27-35 in the third and 28-18 in the fourth, and we lost by 11. So we lose the fourth quarter by 10, lose the game by 11. So it's like there's
they
just
came back.
there.
That was a comeback. It had to be a comeback. We
So
beat them in the third and fourth.
They beat they beat
Or
us
they
in the
beat us
third
in
and
the
fourth.
third and fourth.
Yeah,
So,
but again, so it's like there's just moments in the game, and that's just where it's like we're coming up on that hill, we just weren't able to get over that hill, and so that's what I'm looking to kind of avoid. If we can avoid those situations, I'm putting us in a position to win.
If it's a close game scenario, then I'm biting my nails.
Obviously,
More.
the closer the margin and the smaller the time clock, the advantage sways more and more to them, right? It's the same thing like in
Luka.
Yeah, it's the same thing like in football when it's like, wait, you're just gonna give Aaron Rodgers 2 minutes to try to score a touchdown to beat you? Like he's gonna do it.
About that dude on my show, boy.
Right on.
I mean, yeah. Look at the freaking Patriots and Atlanta. That
so
they gave Tom Brady too much time to make a comeback.
Yeah.
So, but I guess what I'm trying to say though is just like, I think that there's reason for us to be competitive even in this game. And we talked about like if we lose to Dallas, we're probably closing our hopes on like top 8. But let's say we beat them. And so we'll only be
that'll give us a whole game, right? Because they'll take the L, we'll take the dub, so we'll be 3 games.
It will only be 3. We'll be 3.5 games behind Dallas. But if we can keep pace with Memphis, you know what I mean, to at least maybe even get into that 8th spot, because the 8th seed team only has to win 1 play-in game versus 2 if you're a 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
So there's reason. There's still stuff to be pushing for and stuff to be fighting
I feel like we
for.
could and we're talking about those playing games. I feel like we could beat any of those teams like any given night. As far as Golden State, like.
Here's the thing, though.
Memphis.
Well, yeah,
we haven't beat any of those teams.
Yeah, and it's like we said, it's like if when it comes down to a 2-minute drill and they have the stars. Well, if it comes to a 1 game win all. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to like a 1 game win all kind of thing, I'm a little bit worried to play Steph Curry in a 1 game take all situation.
We beat Memphis. Memphis. I mean, look at what Portland did last year. Like, it's the same. I feel like that's the exact same situation, and Steph Curry is on a worse team than what Damian Lillard had last year. And you saw how amazing Damian Lillard played to get into that playing game, or to get into that 8th seed against the Lakers. So it was just like, I feel like you're gonna see the exact same thing, but for Steph Curry on a worse team. Like, it's just gonna happen.
And I feel like it's okay, because I feel like we've seen, and it was against Memphis. Like, I think dropped 40 on us, and we just
that was at the beginning of the year though. Like we came in later, and they still didn't have.
Whether it's the beginning or whether it's the end, I think that we could beat them. Like no matter, I don't care if we play them. I don't care if we lose today to Dallas. I think that later on down the line, do we have a shot? Yes, I feel like we have a shot against them all the time.
Well, yeah, you could say that about everything though. Like I can tell you that we have a shot for things, but that doesn't, like, I mean, the facts behind the story right now is that we have lost against every team. We have lost, like, in the season series, we have lost against the Warriors, the Grizzlies, and the Mavericks. So
but from a game to game basis, for Josh's point, on a game to game basis, we've beaten the Warriors, at least once. You know what I mean? We've beaten the Grizzlies at least once. We've beaten the Pelicans at least once. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when it comes to the play-in game, that's all you need. That's all they're asking you to do.
Right. I get that. It's just a whole lot harder for me to say.
It's not a series. We're not playing a whole series against these guys. Like,
it's just harder for me to say. Yes, we're going to take one game.
These are the times where we need to switch it up. Like, as far as, how we're talking about, like, oh, this guy's getting burned, and we just leave him in there. Like, we don't have that luxury. We're not playing them again the next day. We're not playing a series. Like, if Rudy Gay is getting his ass beat he better be on the bench. Just like how Pop would pull a young guy. I wish he would play like that. And you know how Tim Duncan used to say that, like, he coaches me like he coaches the last team. Like, I wish Pop would treat the damn starters like that, or DeMar, Patty, and Rudy. Because if Lonnie went out there, if Devin went out there and gave up multiple backdoor cuts. They're on the bench and they're not playing the rest of the game, and that's just the way it is. And I do not see why we do not treat everybody like that. If that's how we treated everybody in the past, why is it different now?
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at that point for me though, it's just I'm just kind of ready for Pop to hang it up, get ready to go to the go to Hawaii, go chill for a little bit.
I hope he goes and rides bikes with Ginobili and Timmy.
Right? I'd love to see that. I love Pop, and obviously I'm the youngest one here, so I'm the one that has the least amount of time watching and dissecting and seeing how Pop talks, how Pop thinks and stuff. But it's just like the stuff that I see from him now, I'm just like, well, man, I don't want to say
it was a good run.
Yeah, it was a good run, but I just go ahead. I'll see you later. Let's get some new fresh.
I'm not mad at Pop, but I'd be mad at Pop all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is back to back years. Like I feel like he did it to us back to back years, man. Last year, I just did not want Brandon and Marco to play, and this year I do not want Rudy and hopefully we don't have that. Hopefully we don't overpay no scrubs next year, no veterans.
We're gonna pay Patty the max.
We're probably gonna sign Udonis Haslem and play that guy.
But all right, so we just to kind of quickly get through the rest of the week, we play against Toronto. How do y'all feel about Toronto?
Same, like we had said. I feel like that could be a building block kind of win for us, and we're gonna need it.
If I seen my team beat them before, I'm gonna say we're gonna beat them again.
Right. All right. And then so if I'm not mistaken, after that it's Portland, and that's a home game.
Yeah, that's back to back.
It's Portland. No, Portland's on Thursday.
It's not. Yeah. We play a back-to-back Friday and Saturday, Portland, and then we have to go to Phoenix. Yeah.
But so we play home against Portland. This is our first matchup against Portland, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm looking right now. I don't see. We haven't played them. Maybe that was one of the games that got postponed,
canceled.
Yeah, right, maybe. But no, we have not played Portland this year.
Well, I feel like it's going to be fun seeing Damian Lillard drop 60. But if we can hold down everybody else, then we can beat them. It's not like I've never been scared of Portland in that sense.
Same.
Like I love Damian Lillard. I love CJ McCollum.
Wait, you're not scared of Portland, but you're scared of Dallas?
Yes. Because Luka and Kristaps scare me more than what Damian Lillard, and I feel like the roster makeup's a little bit better on Dallas's end than
now that I would push back big time. I mean, Damian Lillard, Carmelo Anthony, CJ McCollum, Enes Kanter, Norman Powell, Nurkic.
It's there. I mean, yeah, that addition to Norman Powell helps a lot, and I will say like I hadn't.
Enes Kanter had 30 rebounds yesterday.
We talk about how we get killed in the post, and then you're gonna say you're not scared of Portland.
Nurkic is not the same center that he was the last couple years because he's just been hit with injuries. So I'm not scared of Nurkic. And Kanter, like I don't know. Honestly, Kanter is like I feel like that's a two-way street because either he can kill us or we can kill him, and it's not like it's like either way. Like I feel like if we're a team that attacks the paint a lot and they don't have inside presence, like Kanter is not a defensive center. Yes, we can get beat inside, but Jakob, if Kanter is their starting center and Jakob's the one holding down Kanter, I'm not afraid of that. Why would I ever be afraid of that?
But I guess it's just more of they are very deep. You know what I mean? Like they just have a lot of talent to spread around.
Even if they split those and at some point Jakob's off the floor and they have Kanter or Nurkic, like we're at a disadvantage for however long that.
Yeah, you're not wrong about
that. Real quick. You're fast forward 1 year. We're playing Portland Trailblazers. They have Nurkic and they have Enes Kanter. You feel comfortable with Luka Samanic at the 4?
If they're not going to be playing on the court at the same time, they're both fives.
Who?
Kanter and Nurkic.
You don't see any situation of them playing on the floor at the same time?
No, I don't. They're both fives.
Okay. All right.
I see Luka playing against Robert Covington and Carmelo Anthony, in which case I don't mind either one of those matchups.
Now that is true. Now if they put, I'm looking at it. It says same thing. Robert Covington and Carmelo Anthony listed as their power forwards. I don't agree with that, but I mean, I'm thinking more like you said, situational, right? And so it's like if it comes down to a fourth quarter, you don't think that they're going to have Cantor and Nurkic?
But that's fine. Then that just means that Luka's not on the floor at that time.
Okay.
If we fast forward a year,
so that means your true power forward can't be on the floor in closing minutes.
No. Yeah, well, it's different. It's different when you put your true power forward against two true fives. Like that's different.
I would say I don't even know. I would even say like give them the designations of like a true center. I think they're both.
Cantor is a 5. They're both big. Yeah. They don't shoot like they're back you down and they're layup guys. They're not spacing the floor, and that's the difference. And that's what Jake was saying. That's where I agree with him. Like a lot of the fours this time are not built like they're not Tim Duncan's. Like they're not in that era. It's just not like that no more.
They're more Boris Diaw.
Everybody's on the outside. Yeah.
I mean, I do get what you're saying, but when I look at, like I said, the Trailblazers, they can go double big if they want to. The Lakers can go double big. The Nuggets can go double big. The Clippers can go double big. Like if all the top teams in the West can do it, then the era of like small ball that we're in is only like kinda. It's like proxy at small ball.
Yeah,
like
but their ability to go double big is never shown. Like I have never seen like
how about like in the NBA playoffs, the Lakers went big the whole postseason and beat everybody going big the whole postseason.
Yeah, but even
there was one series where they were forced to kind of go small. Everywhere else, they used their size to their advantage in every series.
And I get what you're saying, but like the JaVale McGee's, those guys that are just tall and that can run, like they kill you on. It's not. They kill you by their size. They kill you by their size, not because, like I said, not because the offense is being run through them. It's because them just being out there puts other defenses in bad positions. And that's the thing. Like that's why we need. And that's why I like Luka, because say he does just get better at the 3-point this year, like then you're going to pull JaVale McGee or whoever the hell outside, and that helps all of our cutting guards. And like that helps us so much on the other end of the floor. And we could attack them. We could attack them, and if they go a little stretch, because you said JaVale, I'm just using the Lakers, right? I'm just saying JaVale McGee as in last year on the Lakers, but like if their second big man gets killed, a couple of plays, you're going to have to make them make an adjustment. It's either we're going to run, we're going to attack them on the other end, big floor, or we're going to get killed on this end. Like, and that's all we got to do. If Luka can hit a 3 and or DJ can get to the rim a couple of times, then you're going to make them adjust.
And that's the name of the game right now is small ball versus the bigger players and all that kind of stuff. But like I'm trying to say, if all the top teams have the ability to go big, then it's not a secret thing. It's not like this situational thing. Like they all have it. They all have it.
Not every team has Anthony Davis playing your 4. I'm more scared of seeing Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee than I am scared of seeing Yusuf Nurkic and Enes Kanter. Even if both Enes and Yusuf are better than JaVale McGee and can do more than what JaVale McGee does, I'm still more scared of seeing Anthony Davis on the court than I'm scared of seeing 2 of those guys on the court. And I feel like that's the thing that you're kind of missing at that point, is like not everybody does have a superstar power forward at that spot. That's why I think somebody like Zion and Giannis, you build the right teams around them, and they should be championship contenders because they play that 4 in that position. I think Giannis could be playing a 5, but if you see 2 bigs, you see Giannis and another big in the paint like that, or at least a big who can play in and out of the paint, being a 3-point shooter and an inside scorer. Somebody like Bobby Portis is right now. For them, like they should be championship contenders, but not every team does that. Not every team can have that, so it's not as big of a worry as it should be.
I don't know. I have to go through the Eastern Conference teams and look, but I have a feeling if I go look at the top Eastern Conference teams, they'll have the ability to go double big too. And I get what you're saying about like not everybody has an Anthony Davis like at the 4, but I mean, I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way. Like the idea of like you're saying, like that Luka is a true power forward. Like I think that the best he's undersized. He's an undersized power forward.
I think so though. He's 6'10". He's already 220. Like, I mean, I feel like you look at the development of literally the guys that we've had. You see how we've bulked up everybody. We've gotten everybody to look in some way. DeJounte,
you saw how we bulked up Boris Dio.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Are you talking about like but I mean like bolstered who? I mean,
well, like I said, DeJounte.
Luka has gotten like bigger, like since he came in, and I know. And
yes, he has.
You just gotta let them grow, like.
And he is young.
I feel like people don't ever talk about how big Keldon got. Keldon got so much bigger from when he got drafted to where he is. He had like the same type of just like kind of scrappy, like push you and run into the paint type of play in college, but he was nowhere near as big as he is now. And that was one season.
But I mean, that it's just they're kids. Like you're in your college, you're a kid. Like once you get your man body, and that's no matter where. It's not just like San Antonio. Like everybody gets bigger. Like just as you get older, and Luka, he might not, but I'm hoping that he does. Like remember LeBron? Remember how skinny LeBron was in 2003? Like when he was 18 years old. Like how big that fool is now, right? So everybody grows. And I think Jake's just saying, like, if he grows, if we could get him to 230, just give him some muscle, like, yeah, he could hold his own. Being 6'10" and just.
I hope that I'm wrong, and I'll be honest. I know that I'm still more on the old school side of basketball when it comes to like just looking at how teams are their lineups are made. I mean, 1 big and 4 wings, like the other night, even though we were coming back strong against Denver to make that game tighter, I think it was energy more than I think there was energy that kind of kept us in the game. But I mean, we had Keldon at the 4. To kind of argue against my own point, they had Millsap and JaVale McGee, and we had Keldon Johnson and Jakob as our 4 and our 5, and we held our own. So I understand what you're saying.
And that's the thing, because nobody plays like and that's the thing. Nobody plays. You like Pop. You don't want to change, man.
Well, I wouldn't even say that I don't want to change. I want to be wrong. But if I in my opinion, I
see the blueprints of winning.
In my opinion, no, I just think that I'm not changing my stance as of yet because we haven't seen the evidence.
Right.
We would have to wait. But in my opinion, if you have Luka Samanic at the power forward position, he's going to get abused down low. That's my.
I think that's what you're saying. Like you're older. Like he is a modern day 4. He's not like an old school 4,
like a true power forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Like modern, and that's the way it is, right? Like now, modern day basketball, like basketball, it's positionless. Everybody's just out of position. Everybody's out of position. Right. And you go back 15, 20 years ago when there was like every night you had a 1 through 5. Like
yeah,
you had your position.
And that's why I'm trying to say is like the teams that have the ability to have that old school lineup, those are the ones that at the end of the day they use that to their advantage at some point.
But I think like even recently, like let's just go back like a couple, like maybe I don't even know when. I guess the Lakers. Like that one with their size, but the past champions.
Well, I mean, you're talking about everybody before that. The people before that was the Warriors. I mean,
yeah,
like,
I know, but
let's just talk about Toronto. Let's talk about.
We didn't.
Yeah, let's talk about Toronto. Let's talk about our 2014 team. Like those, the Heat. Like freaking. If we just start from like the Heat moving forward, right? The Heat had Chris Bosh and Chris Anderson, if I'm right?
Yeah.
And Chris Anderson,
Joe Anthony was like their backup center.
He was a tiny center.
But so those guys were in the paint and all that kind of stuff. Chris Bosh could stretch. He wasn't bad at stretching.
That's when it started. Like that's when it started. Remember when Chris Bosh and Kevin Love I'm talking Kevin Love in Cleveland, but when they started playing with LeBron, when they started playing with the guards, they stood in that corner.
Yeah.
And those guys made them those stretch 4s because the guards that they had around them, they were always on the outside.
And
Always on the outside.
2014 was us with Boris. So Boris wasn't. I don't know about y'all, but I don't think Boris could bang down low for too long. You know, he was a big body.
Boris would roast Luka Samanic in the paint though. As a
But
passer, as a facilitator, using his size, using his IQ around the rim, like he would abuse Luka Samanic. And I know that Luka could probably combat that with perimeter scoring and speed and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like a guy like Boris Diaw would lick his freaking chops seeing Luka Samanic in the paint.
Right, and but it does go like on the other end, and I talked about this again. Like I would hate to have Boris Diaw run around Luke on the outside if I was on the other end.
Yeah,
like if I had an aggressive,
especially if they're attacking. Yeah, especially if they're attacking Boris.
Luka, then I would hate it. I really would.
Boris was still not a traditional power forward, though. Would you say that a traditional power forward was a guy who could facilitate and play make for a team?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would say based off of like the places on the floor in which he did his work, I would say that he's way closer to a power forward than Luka Samanic.
But at that point, you know, that's still 2014. That's still however many years.
But Jake, you're the one that was telling us to go back and look at 2014.
Well, but I'm saying like you can see where the evolution was in terms of how there is now, you know, the modern day power forward. For me, the pure power forward that Luka is that, you know, because you see how somebody was stretching the floor for Chris Bosh. You see how Boris Diaw was not being, you know, on the offensive end, at least. I feel like he wasn't being a guy who would back down. He was a guy who was facilitating, being a point forward for our team. Then, you know, you move on, you see Kevin Love, who was like another Chris Bosh. You go to Toronto, and now you have Pascal and Marc Gasol. And Pascal's not like Pascal's somebody who I feel like plays a lot like Giannis, but just isn't as powerful as Giannis is. And so it's like he is one of those cases that I can tell you can do both inside and outside. Mm-hmm. So that means that he's not a traditional one that just plays inside, but he's one that plays both ends.
So would you say that he's a pure power forward, a modern day pure power forward?
I would say that, like, yeah, honestly, I would feel like Pascal is, because the thing with modern day power forwards is that they don't play inside as much. So then somebody like Pascal, somebody like Zion, and that's why I was saying earlier that's why Zion and Giannis and Anthony Davis, those people that have them, are the teams that should be championship contenders, because if they can do both, or in Giannis's case, he can just destroy the inside, you know, instead of, you know,
wouldn't you want that?
But you're not going to get that every time. You're not going to get the Zion.
Okay, that's regardless. If a guy like Zion can dominate down low and possibly stretch out, you're saying the ones that put the guys who can dictate their offense from down low, those are the ones that should be title contenders. You're saying the true power forwards should put you into title contention,
but that's because they can do both, and they can do both.
Okay,
the inside and the outside, because they can both.
I guess all I'm trying to say is, if that's the case, then that's why I would say that Luka is not a true power forward, because he can't do both. But he can't give you the inside. He can give you the outside. I don't think he can give you the inside.
But he's still a facilitating power forward. He's still somebody who can hold the ball in his hands and be able to dribble. That's kind of what I'm getting at, though, is that, like, if Luka can develop, he can become a guy who can play inside outside on the offensive end. I'm talking pure offense, and at that point, you know, like Zion at the moment more inside.
So how do you figure Luka's inside game improving? Do you see him learning how to post up? Do you see him,
you know, like if you give him and it sucks, right? Because he's 6'10", but he is kind of smaller. Like, I would like to get him like a guy like Rudy, right? And this is where Rudy could help us if he just maybe if we could practice, maybe this would happen, right? Yeah. But like exactly what Rudy does, because he's 6'10", and I feel like he can shoot the ball. Like, and with Chip, like, yeah, you give him a couple of seasons with Chip, like, obviously not this year. Maybe this season's lost because we don't have the time all the time, like, to practice or whatever. But like, I feel like he can shoot, and if you put Luka in those spots where, hey, I'm gonna give it to you on the block, and I just want you to turn around, being 6'10" and shoot, maybe get a couple switches and go shoot over these threes in the mid range, like that would be perfect as far as like post game.
Like for me, like being able to do both in and like, scoring is what matters. For like say the people who are okay at the forward, like Davis, who is a 3-point shooter, can't do anything on the inside, compared to somebody like Pascal, who can do both ends, who can do the inside and outside of scoring. And that's what, like, I think if Luka can add that to his thing, he is a pure 4. He is somebody who can do that and be, like, good, be really good for us at that point. But if he's just a stretch, then he's just a modern day 4. He's just somebody who just stretches the floor for us.
I caught most of what you're saying, but you kind of was chopping in and out.
Oh.
No, you're fine. And again, I would just kind of say like, I just don't know if he's ever going to have that any kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not persuasion, but I don't think that his presence inside is, I can't see it yet, that his presence inside will ever be like any kind of like an imposing presence. And in that regard,
go ahead. When you look at the best power forwards, the only 2 power forwards that have that presence inside is Giannis and Zion, who are freaks of nature,
No, and
so
Anthony Davis.
The other guys, well, yeah, Anthony Davis has the presence inside, but Anthony Davis doesn't play inside. He's an outside guy. That guy loves to play in the middle.
Yeah, but
he's on the outside. He has the size, but he has the size to do it, but he likes to play in the midi. He likes to play on the 3-point line. And so that's why I'm saying, like, a guy like Pascal, a guy like Anthony Davis, guys that play more outside but have small inside presence, like, that's just, like, in a sense, they're not the, like, obviously Anthony Davis is still a freak of nature, but, like, those guys aren't the freak of natures. That's why Pascal is, in a sense, for me, like, that guy that you want everybody else to be, because you can't have everybody try to be Anthony Davis. You can't have everybody try to be Zion. You can't have everybody try to be Giannis. But if you see somebody try to play their role like Pascal is, and obviously Pascal is a first option on a team, so you don't even need them to be the first option. You see a guy who could be able to hold the ball in his hands and be able to take other 4s off the dribble. That's good. That's what you need out of a 4. And then if Luka's the guy who can guard the 4s off the dribble, that's what I want. I could see Luka not getting beat off the dribble from Pascal. You know what I mean? If he can develop his defensive perimeter defense,
Do you think a guy like Pascal can bully Samanic?
Well, at the moment I feel like he could, but I don't see Pascal running the paint. He doesn't do that. That's not his play style.
Well, you just said you just talked about like him running.
Saying, like,
Luka runs Samanic off the dribble, off the perimeter, and now the game has moved from Samanic being Pascal being outside. Now he has the ball with him driving to the basket.
You're not seeing a post game though. You're just seeing Luka contest the shot, and that's not.
No. Yeah, but easily, like what I'm saying is, if he runs him off the 3-point line, easily a perimeter oriented possession now becomes a paint oriented possession. Now all of a sudden he's got the ball in his hand, trying to make a move against Luka Samanic. He could easily put him on his back in one dribble and turn around and go into a post-up shot if he wanted to. It doesn't have to originate from him getting to the block, putting Luka on his back. Hey, give me the ball. Hey, give me the ball. Like, it doesn't have to start that way, but it can quickly turn into a position where his size is at his advantage. And so I was just asking, like, because all the things that you said about like being able to do both, I think that, in my opinion, Luka Samanic, if his offense and his defensive stuff starts from the perimeter, and he can kind of do some of those, if he can kind of do some of those down low kind of things, I agree that that's what we want from him. But I would say that he's more of like a 3 who can play the 4 versus he's a 4 who maybe can go and guard wings. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and in the small sample size that we've gotten from Luka,
yeah,
I can see where you're coming from on that stance. I just feel like
And I also understand completely that in a modern day lineup, you're not gonna see like our guys. We're not gonna put Luka at the 3 most of the time. Even next year, we're gonna have hopefully maybe we'll have Keldon at the 3 a lot more. We'll probably have Vassell at the 3 a lot more, and then Luka will probably find most of his minutes at the 4. Like I'm not like completely blind to that, but just in my opinion, I think that we'll see. We're just. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I just feel like that we're gonna see a lot of some of the things that we saw, like with Chimezie Metu. His offensive skills were obviously like he couldn't do anything on the outside, but he couldn't really do anything on the inside either. You know what I mean? Like his advantages, he never had an advantage down low. And unfortunately for him, that's where all of his stuff had to come from. Luka is not as hindered as Metu, but I don't see it yet that he'll ever have any kind of advantages around the rim against other fours, even if they're 6'10" and the rest of the league is not 7 foot power forwards like it used to be. At
least on the defensive end, he doesn't have to have the advantage. If he can hold his own, that's all you need from him. That's all you need from him, because there's only 2 or 3 guys in the league where you're telling me, all right, like these are the guys that are the number 1 player on their team and is the number 1 option for them, So it's like,
but and I'm not even saying that. Like I said, I'm not saying that the offenses are going to run through Luka's man. JaVale McGee kills us. Go back to when you're talking about looking at like playoff runs. We lose to Golden State not just because they have the shooters that they have, but because we go and watch JaVale McGee score 10 points in 5 minutes in the first quarter. You know what I mean? Because we just didn't have the size, intimidation, presence down low. You know what I mean? Obviously he's a 5. Yeah, okay, but again, what I'm trying to say is at any point, all the people that go deep in the playoffs, they use that size to their advantage. And I think that if somebody pulls that card on us, if we have to pull Luka Samanic from our paint, then maybe we shouldn't put him there in the first place, is what I'm trying to say. Maybe we should find somebody better to fill that position where we don't have to sub out. Why would we have? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
That's all I'm trying to say.
But I think if Luka can develop, he actually will be able to at least hold his own. Like not you're not asking him to be an interior presence, but if you're just asking him, you got to take 2 or 3 plays where you just gotta hold your own against somebody trying to beat you down. Like,
and we've seen a lot of it, man. We started the year watching Keldon Johnson guard Zion and then go guard Anthony Davis and then go guard, you know what I mean? Like we've seen that we can do those things, and you can win a game even when you have some of those slight disadvantages size wise or whatever. So yeah, I get what you're saying. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because we need us to be deep. We need us to be solid in all those positions. And I think that's just where I'm coming from, is like, if we could maximize our 4 spot, because I feel like right now that's our weakest position. That's our weakest position. And talking about the theme
is our 5. Our weakest position is our 5.
We're talking bigs in general. It's down low,
bigs in general. Bigs in general down low.
And this makes me go back to the draft, and I have no like ill will towards like Trey Jones, but why the hell did we not go big?
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah. For a moment like this. Where we're so depleted.
And now we have a guy that's may or may not crack the rotation this year, next year, whatever, and we're in a hole because we have nobody.
Yeah.
We have no big.
Yeah. I get what you say there.
And this is exactly what I was like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
Well,
and it sucks because I can like Trey as much as I want to, but he's not helping us a single bit right now. But you could make the case that he has not helped us all year. He hasn't played. He plays, and if we even took a guy to play like however many minutes, when everybody's hurt, like maybe we wouldn't be in this hole if we had a big man. But it does make me think.
I'm about to just look at the 2020 draft real quick, just to see if there was any centers that are cracking rotations.
Yeah, but like,
and maybe not even cracking.
You just put different guys in certain rotations. There's guys that have played great with us, and they go elsewhere, and then they don't even make the team. Like and it goes. It's not just San Antonio. You know, other teams play guys like Metu's playing a lot over there, and he didn't crack our rotation. So we could have made somebody. We could have made them something that could have helped us. You know, anybody. It doesn't matter if they didn't crack rotation anywhere else. Like, I don't want them to be a star. I just want them to help us.
Yep. But and while Jake's looking to I think that's just where my thing is coming from, is like right now I feel like we're depleted in our bigs, and you know when we named the episode Saviors and Scapegoats, we're thin right now at the bigs, and in my opinion, like Luka Samanic at the big to try to fill it, like Luka Samanic is not stopping the bleeding at all for me when it comes to our bigs.
And this is what I told you before. Like, if we're playing, and I know we keep talking about Rudy, but we're just going to talk about Rudy.
Well, he's our backup big right now.
If we're playing him and we're losing games, then switch it. And if we still lose, then nothing's changing. But other than getting Luka some, you know what I mean?
Some bruises,
some playing time, like some practice, some run.
If I'm not mistaken, and I'm kind of just looking at the names, I'm just trying to see like if there's any names that pop out to me. But so Nick Richards was literally the guy that got drafted right after Trey, and he's a center. He's a 6'11" center. But he's already 23 years old, and I mean, like, he doesn't look like anything special. I feel like the thing for second round draft picks is I don't think you draft second round draft picks to to have fit in that sense.
But don't even look at
you draft prospects. Players. You draft second round talents, especially because we drafted Q last year, and Q's on a 2-way contract. That means that we just don't see a proper future with him. Unless he develops like crazy in the G League. Whereas like Trey, we signed him to a 3-year deal. That means that we want him to be a point guard for the future. Like, we want him to be like on the team as our backup point guard in the future. You know what I mean? So it's like I get what you're saying in terms of just like, why didn't we just draft, like, with the second round draft pick, why didn't we just draft a body? And it's like, well, I would much rather see us draft Trey Jones. And I'm just saying like I'd much rather see us draft Trey Jones instead of drafting Chimezie Metu. You know what I mean?
What about Bobo? Didn't Bobo fall?
Bobo was in the second round last year.
Yeah, and who did we draft? Q, right?
We drafted Q, and at that point, we
draft Q, and he's not even. I doubt he's gonna. If we drafted Q and we drafted Trey Jones, and they're both in the same spot, then one of them got to go. So we messed up 2 years in a row in my. Well, maybe not this year. If what you're saying with Trey pans out, then maybe it's not. You're
right. You're right about Bol. I feel like Bol is the one, and it's like the same thing with like guys like Nikola Jokic and stuff like that. Like, those are the guys that's like one out of how many people that like people like we just slept on in that point, So it's like, yeah, it's our fault that we didn't draft Bol, but like, I mean, I agree with you on the fact that we should have drafted Bol. That like I feel like we could have just. It's the same thing that I was saying. You're just drafting talent in the second round. You're just drafting guys that you want to be, that you're just taking time to draft, like to develop. You're not taking fit into consideration in a second round draft pick because
is that the only guy that you saw, Jake? The guy like right after Trey?
Yeah, like I couldn't really see. Like, the only other person was like Kenyon Martin Jr., but he's more of a 4-3 than he is a 5. But so it's like,
is he bigger than
Luka Samanic?
Will he make Chris happy in the post?
He had a fun little.
I know
he's in the G League.
Yeah, I know
he's athletic.
Good. Yeah, he's athletic.
But so like I get what you're saying in terms of just getting a body, but like I don't know. I'd have to look at the 2018 draft to see what we did with Messi.
Even a guy like Kenyon Martin Jr. Like the way you're talking about Trey Jones is being a prospect. We could have that in a young guy. And
but I'm just saying that like I'd have to go look at the 2018 draft again to see like who was after Chimezie Metu. But like we drafted a body in Chimezie Metu, Like I don't know if we thought he was going to be talent, but we drafted him.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying about like I'd rather draft Trey Jones than Chimezie Metu. But would you rather have right now at this moment of the season? Would you rather have Trey Jones at the bottom of your depth chart or Chimezie Metu that we could actually use?
I'd rather have I'd rather have Trey Jones. I did not mean to say Chimezie. I'd rather have Trey Jones because
like you just like we're thin, and being thin and being depleted and being less than what you can do, it hurts everybody. It hurts everybody that's out on the floor because they can't operate the way that they normally do.
We have, and you talked about like for future, but we were so guard heavy. Like we're guard. Like if you talk about Derek,
you're not wrong.
And
but
DJ,
what if
those are our point guards? Like those are our point guards right now. And we had Q from the year before. So why do you want 4 point guards that you could pop?
And first of all, Q is on a 2-way deal. Like he's not impacting roster spots. So yes, we have Q, but he's on a 2-way deal. He's not on a deal that affects the roster spots.
But he's playing. So what? Say he outplays Trey next year, and then Trey just falls off again. Like, and that possibly could happen.
That's a second round draft pick. Like it's a second round draft pick that you just drafted to develop. And if he doesn't develop, then he doesn't develop because it's a second round draft pick. Like it's at that point, it's like, well, what can we do? Because I don't think drafting somebody in the second round is going to help us. It's like, well, we gave Drew Eubanks a spot on our roster. So what if we just went out and what if we just went out and signed somebody better than Drew Eubanks instead of giving him the 1-year deal that we did? Like we could have done something else different with the centers that we have on our roster, but we didn't. And then we just drafted Trey Jones because Trey Jones was the talent to develop. Like that's not, I don't think Trey being on our roster affects how bad it's been for us. I think we could have done moves to have changed the way things are. And obviously there's a couple freak things because we kind of did. Like, we bought out LA, we signed Gorgie, but now Gorgie's hurt and we don't have him on the depth. We could have had him on the depth. And it's like, even though LA wasn't the greatest defender ever, like he was a body out there. I'd much rather see a healthy LA on the court than not seeing Gorgie Dang. But, like it's just the cards that have been hit on us at the moment that's just hindering us. I don't think Trey specifically drafting him was the wrong decision. That's pretty much what I'm saying.
Yeah. And again, another guy too, like Lyles. Even if we just had Trey Lyles right now, Lyles would probably be getting minutes because we need them. We just we're depleted.
if we would have actually been able to make that trade to Dallas, and either got a big in return or just had another free roster spot to just say, all right, we got to sign somebody else to be a big, I know we're saying that Trey is out, but I do feel like Trey is out because he doesn't want to be on the team. So it's like, that's a 15th roster spot right there that we don't have because Trey Lyles doesn't want to be on the team.
Or we don't want him on the team or whatever.
Yeah, either way, like whatever the case is, he's not with us right now. So it's like, that's another factor that leads into the fact that we just don't have a lot of bigs on our roster right now.
So, we have true power forward Luka Samanic.
Going into the next game,
Apple's gonna burn you for that.
The last game of the week. I hope Luka freaking drops 20 and 10 in the next couple of days. Yeah. Either way, the next last game of the week is against Phoenix. I'm very excited to see what this one is. Just because Josh liked to talk a lot of mess about Phoenix at the beginning of the year, and I told him.
No, you were saying that it's like Chris Paul and like okay, whatever, Chris Paul, but I just think that and I don't know, like Devin Booker probably. I don't know, that guy's.
It was the Chris Paul effect, man. It was the Chris Paul effect.
That guy is so good.
Devin Booker is amazing.
It's Devin Booker by far.
I love Devin Booker.
I think that even if Chris Paul didn't, I think that even if Chris Paul didn't go, and I think Chris Paul helped them, right? Chris Paul did help. I'm not saying didn't help them, but I think Devin Booker just is.
What is the thing that you guys are debating right now?
So at the beginning of the year,
Jacob was saying that when Chris Paul went over, he's gonna put them high, and I'm like, no,
just that Chris Paul is the main reason why they're doing so well.
That the Chris Paul is gonna put them like way, and I'm like, I don't see that. I don't think so.
At the beginning of the season, I saw that Chris Paul transaction, and I was like, bro, they're gonna be a playoff team. Like Chris Paul's gonna elevate them, and Josh was just saying,
I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember if I said that they weren't going to be a playoff team or if whatever. I just didn't think they were going to be this good. Like with the addition of Chris Paul, I didn't, and I still don't believe that it's like all Chris Paul. I really do believe that Devin Booker is that guy, and he's proving that.
Yeah, but if Devin Booker was that guy, he would have been a playoff team last year.
Yeah, but he's young. He's young in that guy, and it's so different.
To be honest, it's probably just a combination of both. You get a guy like Booker who's a rising star. You give him a whole other summer to get better and better at his craft. You give him a point guard who knows how to lead a team and orchestrate. So over the course of a 48-minute game, over the course of this whole season, you're going to have exponentially better opportunities for Booker this year than he had last year.
As well as DeAndre Ayton.
It's both. It's both.
I still don't believe I think I said this at the beginning of the year. Like, I don't think for a number one pick, I don't think DeAndre Ayton's that guy. Like, I don't know if he could like leave Phoenix and go lead another team. He's playing with good energy and he's doing well.
Exactly. And I feel like that's all because of Chris Paul.
Maybe the one person that Chris Paul had the most effect on, it's not Devin Booker. I think it is
Ayton.
Well, it didn't have to be Devin Booker. Devin Booker was already a really good player. It was Chris Paul leading that team and elevating everybody else around him, not just Devin Booker.
And you know what? And as much as you talk about Chris Paul, we'll see what happens because Chris Paul is a one and done Chris Paul like all the time. So we'll see.
We'll see, man.
I feel so bad because that man just gets hit with freak injuries. I hate it so much.
I wouldn't say freak injuries. It's like the same. It's like hamstrings, just like.
But it's just like it just sucks, man. Because it was 2015. 2015, man just got hit with that leg injury, and then like. You could just see how the Clippers just couldn't do it without Chris Paul. 2018, same thing, man. Like he just comes down, gets hit with that leg injury, and you can just see how Houston just was garbage without Chris Paul. So it was like,
well, there you go, buddy. Phoenix can be as good as they want to be, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
I'm telling you, they're gonna be good. I'm telling you, like they're gonna be good. Like it's not gonna be. It might be a little bit of a wash just because it'll be literally Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker's like first time being in the playoff scenery. Yeah. But
I think that bubble is like a mini playoffs, like for them. They went 8-0.
And you saw how good they were. Now you add Chris Paul to that team, and you're just like, now they're going to be even better.
I did see how good they were without Chris Paul.
Now you add Chris Paul, and now their second seed in the West has a solid playoff contention chance. Either way, I'm excited to watch Phoenix play. I hope it's not going to happen, but I hope I see Chris Paul like put out good numbers. He's that guy that just doesn't put out good numbers, but you can
buy his jersey then.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will buy an OKC Thunder Chris Paul jersey.
Yeah, I would definitely buy a New Orleans Chris Paul jersey.
Yeah,
that's different because I know you got your little 3 thing. Like,
well, also we're far removed now. We got New Orleans, LAC, Houston, OKC, Phoenix. I'm at the point where I can now buy a New Orleans.
I'll never buy
get the Charlotte one.
I'll never buy a Clippers. Yeah, so he's like I'd never buy a Clippers or Rockets Chris Paul jersey ever.
No, no Clippers, no Rockets. Maybe OKC, but my preference would be the Hornets.
And for me, it would literally it would come down to what I enjoy more of Phoenix or OKC in terms of Chris Paul because I didn't get to watch him in New Orleans. Like that's before my time.
True.
But
all right, Jake. We let's go ahead and kind of wrap it up.
Josh, what are your predictions on the week?
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me look at this schedule real quick.
We play against Dallas. We play against Orlando, Toronto, Portland, and Phoenix.
5 games. I'm gonna say we're gonna go 3-2.
3-2. Chris?
Oh, I was looking at the Pacers as for this week. That's for next week. I mean, we need us. We need us to go. We need us to win 3 out of these 5. So I'll say 3 and 2 as well.
3 and 2. As for Jake, I think I have to go with that. It's scary for back-to-back. I think we could probably beat Toronto. Toronto and Orlando are like the 2 games that I'm like, yeah, these are the games that we got to beat them. But I just want to go out and compete against Dallas, Portland, and
Lucas Sandwich is probably going to dunk so hard on Chris Paul, he's going to tear his hamstring in half. And it's going to be like Jacob's worst nightmare. He's so high on Chris Paul, and then so high on Luka, and then bam, bam, bam.
Never. I want Spurs prosperity over any other prosperity.
There you go.
But
really,
if I see Chris Paul do good, then I'm not upset either.
You were the guy earlier this season that wanted the Spurs to lose just to prove a point to me. And you
what? I didn't. Oh yeah. I get what
you did. I don't want to hear it.
I said I almost wanted.
No,
I never said I did. I said I almost.
Where's Juan? If Juan takes back Juan, it's my back. Juan knows.
Nah, Juan's gonna screw it up too, man. He's gonna say things. He's gonna put words in my mouth that I didn't say.
Nope. He never does that. I don't think he's done that in his whole life.
We got it on tape, man. We'll go look at it later.
All right. We'll record it and put the clip up next show.
All right, Jake, take us out.
Yep. All righty then, guys. It was very fun today. I had a lot of fun. We had a really good discussion over Rudy Gay and our vets. I always have a lot of fun talking about like the positions on our team and what we got to do to continue to get better.
Yeah. Maybe next week we can like reintroduce a couple of things that we did at the beginning of the year, our optimal lineups, now that we're kind of like our roster's a little different or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then also I think me and Josh kind of have to ask the question of like, do we have to reevaluate like where we think we're going to land at the end of the year? You know what I mean? Based off of where we are now.
We just talked about this, right? And you said, Chris, I thought you said we're going 500. Jake said under, and I said above, and we're right there. It's like
yeah. So, but just in terms of like now that we know a little bit more of like where the seatings are going to be, like, you know what I mean? Like, do we? So maybe we'll have time to kind of touch on that a little bit next week.
And for sure, like honestly, this week will definitely be telling. If we lose against Dallas, we lose against the Blazers. All these West teams, it's just going to keep knocking us down. Like it will be telling to see whether or not our position is going to be solidified, or if we're going to be having to run up a hill to try and get into the play-in seed. So
yeah.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Once again, last little thing, just say that we do talk on @Heroes Half Court, our Twitter handle, a lot. We like the community, the Spurs community. It's a lot of fun just interacting with everybody and doing our thing. With that being said, though, I hope everybody has a wonderful and a blessed evening, and we are out.